because we teleported out really fast. Wanted to say thank you to all the moderators that helped with the auction and spotlighting and keeping the chat handy, keeping the chat flowing, and handy. No, and also thank you to the buyers and the sellers and everybody that helped. Okay, all right. Now we're on to true crime. Thank you guys. All right. Let me try to get to the. I have to pull up. I don't know where my live is. Oh, and just for the Jimmy. Now he left, right? Now he left with that big air horn blasting in there. Hold on a minute, because he's probably in there and can't hear me. Hold on, I didn't know if my... Is that working now? Hello? Okay. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me try to find the live. I'm going to pull up where we were. I was so exhausted last night. I don't know if you guys knew. I was like literally falling asleep trying to go through this interview with you guys. But I have a second win now. I'm good now. So we're going to go and finish this. Letecia. I made an ice cream cake today. I have to do the whipped cream tomorrow for Ethan's birthday. All right. And that'll give people a chance to get in. Oh, Bink, where were you? I didn't see you anywhere, Bink. Okay. I was going to soak my feet while I was doing this, but I'm going to color my hair tomorrow. Hi, Tina Medley. Haven't seen you in a long time. How are you? Okay, let me pull it up where we were. And you know what? I told you I was going to keep the place. And then we had an electrical outage with the tornadoes that went through. And guess what? So we'll find it. I know pretty much where I was. Pretty much. We were on trial day. This was our trial, right? 12. Trial day 12. I have all of the Letecia Stauch upcoming live streams scheduled. So if you want to go, you can like them ahead of time. You can hit the reminder. You can, bookmark the playlist. And they will also be on the truecrimechat.org blog. They will go up there every day along with the videos we do in the evening with the commentary, the analysis of the day, and all of that, okay? Trying to make this as easy as possible for you guys to find the stuff. So, I think it saved my place anyway. It did, so we're lucky. Okay, let me pull this over. Letecia.
Blood or whatever and just run everywhere to his room or whatever.
So what did you do on this occasion?
We literally took the paper towel, that's why I just told you about the toe, and put in between them.
So it was in between his toes is where the injury
No,
was?
it was like right here.
Okay, so he was asking her about Gannon, about how he hurt his foot. And she was saying, oh, Gannon's not like Lena. He doesn't say, oh, I've got to have a Band-Aid. He'll just grab a paper towel and he'll put it between his toes. And so then he'll just run downstairs with it. So that's very possible, can explain any like blood droplets and stuff. So she is now trying to explain to this guy, and I told you see when she gets very upset, like I told you, she's trying to maintain her composure with this guy because she does know that he's an intelligent man who will figure her out if she doesn't stop. So, but she still gets upset. Like, I told you. And she, you know who did that? Murdaugh did that too when he was sitting in the car. He was trying to be all sweet and nice to the guys, and then he snapped at the woman in the back. Well, she just like, she snaps at people. I told you.
Okay.
We had it wrapped. And I don't remember if we got a Band-Aid, to be honest. What? Gannon.
Well, that doesn't sound like a big injury.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, there was a big injury. I left it on the wood because I said, I'm not going to clean his fine African wood.
What did it look
His
like?
fine African wood.
Drops, streaks?
Well, what I did originally was I was trying to take water to do it, but then I realized if I put cleaner, then that wouldn't do anything but cause the wood to damage, because Albert always wanted to build things with all the wood that we bought.
So,
Now, see, do you see the way she speaks? It would cause the wood to damage. You know, and I can see if you're nervous and stuff and you say things quickly, just like I said, something about the chat. What did I just say? The chat was to keep the chat flowing, whatever it is. But she does it all the time. That it will cause the wood to damage instead of that I would damage the wood with the cleaner. But she does it all the time and always wanted to build things.
And if I use those pieces of wood and all that, you know.
did you ever use that shop vac to clean up anything out there?
No, I never used the shop vac. The shop vac
Never.
was never, I couldn't even like move anything with the shop. Anything that would have been used with the shop vac would have been Albert, other than the times that we brought it, which would have been weeks ago, and we did spring cleaning or fall cleaning around the house, in the corners. And
Weeks ago, she did spring cleaning. Well, weeks ago would have been December. That wouldn't be spring cleaning. Yeah.
so that would have been the shop vac. There was nothing I ever did and vacuumed up something with a shop vac.
All right,
Like,
that helps me. I'm
you
just
know,
asking.
like any of that.
Right.
None of that ever happened.
So,
None.
the burns on the arms weren't that bad. The cut on the toe or the bottom of the foot wasn't that
So
bad.
we still were able to go hiking. He was able to still go
Right.
hiking. It was bleeding on the board. But
But
we
not
never
after that, not over the house, that sort of thing.
Well, he had the piece of paper and went down to his room,
Yeah.
like wrapped around his foot. So I mean, if anything, there could have been drugs in the letters. No.
What about the wound to the head that you talked to Al about?
So Albert was like trying to get me to say whatever, because I'm sure you guys are having that. And that's what he was doing. So Albert was trying to get me to say that, like talk to him about, you know, like, or you know, whatever. So I threw out some
Whatever.
stories to Albert because he was making me so upset. Just like everyone not understanding that intervention. And there's someone intervening in this. And that's where people didn't understand and want to say anything. So I just started rambling stuff to Albert. And I even said to you guys, hey, I know you're listening. You know, and it was just to be whatever.
But do you know what that
Whatever.
sounds like, though, to a
Just
dad
whatever.
who's missing a kid, and then you say, and a previous head wound happened where it was blood running down his face and that sort of thing, and it, you know, had to bandage it up, and
Well, I don't remember saying anything about bandaging up.
I think you said Quincy Brown tried to bandage it up.
Oh, because
Quincy-
he was making me mad about it.
Because he was making
I
me
was gonna say, I
mad.
don't remember me saying I did that.
So he did suffer a head wound, though. We know.
Head?
Yes, head or neck.
Okay.
And that is what caused the blood there. And so, even if you choose not to tell us where Gannon is today because you're too nervous or whatever else, we would like to know where that was on him. So if we find him on our own, if you've given me the clues to go find him, that sort of thing, where was that wound?
Gannon is alive.
He's alive, fine, but where was that wound? Was it his neck or his
Gannon
head?
is alive.
I don't
she
know
said.
anything about a neck or head.
I don't know anything
Well,
about
you
her
had to
neck
clean
or
up the
head.
wall. You went ahead
It was not, that is not even from what you're talking about there had nothing to do with anything from Saturday, Sunday, and whatever. That had nothing to do with any.
Okay,
no.
you see what she did there? That had, what you're talking about had nothing to do with Saturday or Sunday. She didn't say Monday. Did you catch that? Or whatever. She didn't say Monday.
It did
There
not.
was a lot of blood.
It did
And
not.
You're going to have to explain that.
Sir, it did not.
Well, just tell me how.
It did not. I promise
But
you.
you're not going to tell me how.
I
where we can
promise
help
you.
You're not going to
There's that Chris Watts. I promise you, I did not do this.
How could I not help you? How are you going to get up, Letecia, on the stand after telling all these stories, which we're going to ask you about, and then say, I can explain all that, and it's some party that I never told law enforcement to go chase? If Gannon is alive, we have an 11-year-old kid somewhere being held against his will, and you're not telling us. You might as well have done this yourself. That's why I'm saying.
Let me help you get out right there.
She's writing it down? Okay. Hi, Liz Tops. Hi, Christy Love. She's writing it down. What's she writing?
Just put that
Which
there.
one?
She was very small there, wasn't she? She looks tiny there, doesn't she?
Hey,
So I've paused it at 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 55 seconds. What did she write down in your
Hi,
notebook?
Norma.
I just remembered the first part, that the head wound was on Saturday.
You remember it saying,
Head
and had
wounds on
nothing to do with
Saturday.
this?
Words to that effect, yes.
What was your take on that? That instead of saying it on the camera, she wanted to write it down in your notebook?
Well, whether it's by now, whether it's the argument that she didn't want to talk about the burns, and even calling Gannon in as absent, I wasn't pushing her. I would give her the opportunity to talk, and then she would not talk, so I would move on. And now that we're to the blood and what happened in the room, I think it was too difficult for her to say it out loud with the head wound.
But how
When
did- on Saturday, Al
she's
was
going
home.
over the wound to the head, and then she actually says she just started throwing out stories because Al was making me mad. You remember
Yep,
that
I do.
portion? What were your thoughts on that particular part of the interview?
Well, that was consistent with what she was telling Al on the phone calls. And Al would continue to push her like, we need to find Gannon. And then she would say, what about our relationship? So she would move from finding out what happened to Gannon to her
Relationship.
feelings. And that's what she was doing here
feelings.
again.
Is this also an example of her blaming others for her behavior?
Yes.
Did you ask her about blood being found in the back of her Volkswagen Tiguan?
Yes, I did.
Okay, we're going to play that portion next. And Judge, just as I'm watching the time, is there a time that you want me to shoot for a break?
3:10,
Okay,
something like that.
I'll just watch the clock on that.
All right.
This next section picks up from here and goes through 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 57 seconds.
About the blood in the back of the Tiguan.
Tiguan?
Mm-hmm.
The only
Tiguan,
blood
my
in the back of
children.
when we opened the car up. In the car, we were sitting there to do his foot. There's nothing to do with this.
There's too much to be
No.
just a toe.
No.
Nope.
No.
No,
That is
no.
absolutely not true.
Nope.
That was where we were sitting on the back of the car
Sitting there.
when we were unloading the stuff. We were sitting in the back of the car. There is no.
How do you
no,
sit and unload stuff at the same time? We're sitting
There's
there and
plenty
we're
of
unloading
garage
stuff.
stuff.
Okay.
But there was nothing in the garage. There was plenty of times that everybody worked in the garage. Had nothing to do with.
Not everybody. Gannon's not working in the garage and bleeding all over the place.
There was nothing about bleeding all over the place in the
Sir.
garage that had to do with anything. I'm
Nothing.
telling you,
I'm telling you.
what you're asking me is completely, totally different than anything has to do with.
Do you know what this looks like? Say you're telling me the truth. Again, please don't think. Please don't care what I think. Say you're telling me the truth right now. That Saturday had nothing to do with him disappearing and being gone for over a month. Do you know what that looks like for you?
It looks like I'm in the middle of a situation and I need help getting out.
But you're not willing to tell me how to help you. So now you're saying that Gannon had a really bad head wound on Saturday.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
The head thing was Saturday,
Right.
and
I was
the
saying-
amount of blood
no,
there?
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what you're talking about completely different than what you're saying.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this doesn't look any better for you, because now you haven't told Al that he has a head wound. You haven't called the hospital.
It wasn't like that. It was
Well,
not.
and then you have
He
to
did
tell
go
me.
out
I
on
mean, you don't
Sunday,
have to
so
do
how did he
anything,
get
but
the, yeah, Al would have been there.
It's not, had nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with her. Mm-mm, nothing.
So in that particular portion where you're asking about the blood on the Tiguan, had you been made aware of when she showed up to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office for an interview and the condition of her car?
Yes,
What information did you know about that?
but the car had been washed.
Did you ask her if someone else injured Gannon during this
Yes.
interview? Okay. We're going to jump to that portion. It picks up here and goes through 2 hours and 20 minutes and 06 seconds.
Someone else injured him on Saturday. That's an easy question. You don't even have to tell me a name. Did someone else injure him on Saturday?
I wanted to meet friends
What?
because I didn't have friends. Right. So I wanted to meet friends. I would never tell you about any of these steps we had me to go on. See, that's where this is going to be whatever, because you're not going to take my version and my side of
All right, well,
what really happened.
Letecia, let me stop. If you help us, I will take whatever version you tell me, and I will factually prove it. That's all I do is I don't chafe. I am wrong most of the time.
Do you have a way to pull up apps? Do you have a way to pull up the stuff on apps? Do you have that?
We can do that while you're here, yes.
Okay. Well, I know
Tell
I'm
me.
saying you said you have this.
Yes, we have
Okay.
ways to pull up apps.
Okay.
What app?
How do you have ways to pull up apps?
We have technical people. I'm not a tech person, but we have plenty of tech people that are super smart to do it. If you tell me what to do, we can do that while we're talking, take a break, you can go to the restroom, whatever else. We
Hi,
can
Dottie.
solve
The
this
bottom
thing
of
right now.
the CC is cut off at the bottom.
Why come I just can't talk to you?
What do you
about
mean?
it?
Then we can
Not
talk
on
right
my
now.
screen,
Yeah,
Dottie.
but come on, there's people here.
Yeah. What do
You-
you
I
want me?
do-
You tell me what you want to do, and I will have
I
you.
want to talk to you.
I'm watching it on
to
YouTube
tell
right
you
now, and it's
about
not.
Leading up to anything, I want to talk to you because I want you to find Gannon, and I believe in all my heart you will help me. Not lie to me.
I will help you.
Not try to say, oh, you're telling the story and throw me somewhere. Okay?
So is he alive?
Let me finish this and I can
Sorry.
answer your question.
I
I
don't
understand what
see-
you're saying about federal versus local.
I don't, maybe
whatever.
on your phone.
Okay?
Hold on,
So
maybe
the
it's because you're on your
the
phone or
first thing I'm
something.
going to want to talk to you is that I don't want anything said before held against me if I provide you with 100% the truth to help you.
That'll work. This is the first time we're talking, and it's for a reason. You haven't
Okay.
talked to the feds yet.
Right. So if I can, I want to be sitting here with all these people watching because I want you to listen at exactly what happened and go from there. Okay?
Okay.
And that's not, I know you're trained to do this and interrogate people and all this. I want nothing more than for Gannon to be okay. That's all I want. I promise you. That's all I want. That's it. And
Hi,
I will
Sunkist.
take whatever resources, whatever help you want me to go do, even if it means take myself in the middle of somewhere where someone wants me to go to get him. Make sure he's okay. I would do it. Because I love Gannon. And I love the family. And I love the ground that everybody walks on. Albert, Harley, Lena, Gannon. That is my family.
It's her family.
So
So in the end, you might think you got whatever by this,
Whatever.
forensics, and whatever.
Forensics
And I'm not
whatever.
arguing any of that. Very smart to know that you're a smart man and not stupid. But I need the help, the resources, to not be attacked anymore.
Oh my goodness.
To know something on the stupid app was a silly mistake. Okay?
So you brought someone in.
So I'm not, I just,
I know, I get it. So, I'm representing law enforcement in Colorado.
Right.
Okay. And if you tell me something, even
That's
though
the way it is. I
you
don't know
know,
what
we
to tell
started
you
a
guys.
recording now, and whatever, and if you say we won't talk unless we turn off the recording, that can happen. But I'm going to pull in all those resources.
no, I want you to pull in resources. I'm not denying you to say pull in the resources. I'm looking at you from mother to a father. I have been scared because I
my
don't
gosh,
know what's
sorry.
going to happen. Not with because I did something. I wouldn't have told you that there was people, random people, intervention, or all these things if there wouldn't have been. Okay, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that.
Mhm.
Could have easily just been like, hey, if there was truly what you guys had thought about, I don't think you intentionally done it. There was an accident. Common sense, well enough to know to pick up the phone and say an accident happened. I'm not stupid. Okay, might be freaking out because I don't know how to get this help, but I'm not stupid. Okay, and that's looking you dead in the eye to tell you I did not hurt Gannon at all. Okay, swear to you. So if you're willing
I did not
to
hurt
give
him
me
at all.
opportunity to talk to you, I don't want to be like watched by people. I don't want to be
This
whatever.
is a separate recorder. This is mine.
Right, and so does the Myrtle Beach House.
Yeah, they do.
But I need the help.
You'll get that help.
Okay.
All we're focusing on is
Okay, and that's what I want. I don't want to look at like you look at me like I'm just a bad person who doesn't want to find our child.
I
That's
get
not
it.
it. I just don't. When it came at me as an attack, okay, because that's what originally happened. Okay, and I get it. They have to do their job. And guess what? They're probably parents too, right? So they have to do their job, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I get that part. Okay. You can ask me about any of these, whatever. I'm sure it was something I saw somewhere. And I
Whatever.
don't never looked up anything about some stepchild. I've looked up how I haven't got help
Whatever.
and how I wanted help and how I wanted to be the person that they always were. Well, I didn't even want them to go home. I didn't even want them to have to go to their mother at all.
Whatever.
At all. Because I had to see the pain and agony out of worry. So you're going to take my character based upon
No.
whatever.
That's just part.
Whatever.
Listen, when a kid goes missing, we don't only look at
Right.
the person, we look at the entire neighborhood,
Right.
we go through people's closets,
Right.
we go, everybody's lives is
Right.
turned upside down.
And I'll tell you right now, if any of this is since then, of course I've looked at what people said. If people said something about the FBI, I Googled
But
FBI.
You worry too much about what we think. If you will get us there, we can protect you.
Okay,
Sandy
so then I
Sanders.
talk to you. And I don't talk to Myrtle Beach Police Department and all these other people. I talk to you and I explain to you. Okay? Because you already saying you are charging me with something.
It's
Sure.
already been
Okay,
charged.
that's what I'm saying. You're already saying
You're already
that.
saying that.
Okay? So how do I know that when I give you this here information,
But that's what this recording does. It protects you because I've already told you we will do this. We used to not record things, but we do now. And the only people sitting in there is the district attorney and some of the El Paso people. Myrtle Beach has nothing to do with this. They helped us find you.
right?
So they have to be involved in this.
I understand it. There's nothing against Myrtle
So
Beach.
Myrtle Beach is not in on it.
Okay, well,
If someone else took Gannon,
if
we
everyone
can
else is
find
in
it.
here, I don't want that. I want to be able to have an emotional, raw conversation.
Let's do it now.
I can't.
I mean,
Emotional,
go
raw
anywhere.
conversation
Where
with
do
this
you
guy.
wanna
Because I know people are sitting.
Nobody's sitting there.
Okay, someone's watching from there.
They are in the other room. It's the district attorney. Do you want me to tell them they can't watch?
No, I want to talk to someone in a raw, real conversation so you can see truly in my heart the situation. That's what
Okay.
it is.
That's what this is.
No, it's not that.
Not
But
good
how can
enough.
I make
Who
it
is it?
that
The district
decision?
attorney from Colorado?
Yes.
Yeah, see?
See?
Come on.
I can ask them to leave the room.
It's not about leaving you. It's about I'm asking for, instead of going through all, this, whatever, sitting here wasting our time or whatever, I'm asking.
Wasting our time, honey.
I'm taking your word that you're going to help me.
You're
And
on
gonna
their
provide
time
the
now,
resources
Letecia.
From wherever you said you have them.
Before I
I'm sorry, Dottie. I'm having a Rolo right now.
So,
Sorry.
in this portion of the interview, starts out with you asking her about, did somebody else
Whatever.
injure Gannon? And then she went on the discussion about apps. Do you remember that portion?
Yes.
And you asked her to give the name of the app. And then it led to that long tangent. Was that another distraction attempt away from potentially things that may help?
Misdirection, yes.
Yeah, movement is life. Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Did you ask her about trips that she may have made to Palmer Lake area, so northern El Paso County?
I did.
So we're going to watch that next, and this is short. It's from 2 hours, 20 minutes and 10 seconds through 2 hours, 21 minutes and 20 seconds.
let me ask you some questions, okay? Because this is our investigation.
Right.
You're taking all these trips up to Palmer Lake, multiple trips,
Mhm.
different cars,
Mhm.
renting a car.
Okay.
How are you not involved in this?
First off, I didn't ever get the drive to rental car anywhere because immediately once we let me go ahead and correct on this now. Once we got the rental car or whatever, the National Guard was there. Everybody was in the house. We went in Albert's truck the whole entire day, going to Come and Go and all these places. So I never drove the rental car anywhere, and it's already been corrected from budget about the rental car situation. I had to get that corrected yesterday. I never even drove it anywhere because I didn't get to. So whatever GPS you get from the rental car, it never was driven by me anywhere but literally up the street, back. I didn't hardly drive it
Up the
anywhere.
street and
So
back.
there was no rental car driven to any kind of places at all.
No places.
The only time I went anywhere in the rental car might have been maybe 40, 50 miles. I don't know, no more than 100 miles, counting there and back. And that was
40,
just driving
50,
through
no
the
more
day
than
because
100.
I went back to get my car.
But
What information did you have about rental cars when you were asking that question?
We had that on the day Al returned back in town, which I believe was Tuesday. The Tiguan had been parked at the airport, and Letecia had rented a car for that day leading into the next day. But then she'd actually came back and picked up the Tiguan Tuesday night. I don't remember or not if I had the mileage. She is correct here, and she drove it between 50 and 100 miles. I think it was about 70 miles. It came back that the rental car was driven, and like she said correctly, you could see the level of detail here. I believe she's being honest, and it probably was not driven up to Palmer Lake. So, yeah, it was factually correct what she was saying.
Were you aware of her having access to any other rental cars during the early days of this investigation?
Yes.
Like the Nissan Altima?
Yes, I believe her Tiguan was seized, and then after that, she rented the Nissan.
A relative
No.
rented the
she-
Nissan?
The relative.
We've got that in
she
evidence.
rented
That's
the
coming from a
van.
different witness. But also, did you later learn that she also had access to 2 different types of rental vans?
Yes, I learned that later.
Okay. Did you have a discussion about PetSmart/Petco that leads into a discussion about blood on the walls and on her shoes and that kind of thing?
Yes.
All right, we're going to jump to 2 hours, 24 minutes and 51 seconds and play through 2 hours and 28 minutes and 5 seconds.
because everything that I've looked at in this case, when you see the blood spatter on the wall, you see a big pool, in the corner.
Okay.
You see your shoes that we collected with Gannon's blood on the
Okay.
bottom of them.
Okay.
And then you point to Eduardo, who doesn't exist, or maybe he did exist, and we don't have a last name.
Okay.
Then you point to Quincy Brown, and then you say Uncle Matt, these names and stuff, and it's like, I've seen it
Hi,
before,
Linda T.
and that was Harold. That was.
But I'm not Harold.
I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying this is my experience.
Right. I got you.
I'm not saying you are, but it didn't go well for him because his attorney got up. He's one of the best attorneys in Colorado. He cost $600,000. Craig Truman, and he started
Paid $600,000. Okay.
with his dead wife's money. And
What? Hold on.
Craig got up and
Hold
said,
on.
"Harold is not a murderer, but
gotta
he is
see
a
something.
liar."
Right.
And
I have to see something. Hold on. What did he just say? I wanted to see how this Harold got into there.
Yes.
Like the Nissan Altima
Okay.
on the wall.
How did I miss
get
this
a
Harold?
cooler in the corner.
Okay.
You see your shoes that we collected with Gannon's blood on the
Okay.
bottom of them.
Okay.
And then you point to Eduardo,
Eduardo.
who doesn't exist, or maybe he did exist, and we don't have a last name.
And
Then
Quincy
you point
Jones.
to Quincy Brown,
Quincy
and then
Brown.
you say Uncle Matt, these names and stuff, and it's like, I've seen it before, and that was Harold. That was.
But I'm not Harold.
I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying this is my
Oh, he's
experience.
talking about Harold. I got
I'm
it.
not saying you are, but it didn't go well for him because his attorney got up. He's one of the best attorneys in Colorado. He cost $600,000. Craig Truman, and he started
Paid $600,000. Okay.
with his dead wife's money. And Craig got up and said, "Harold is not a murderer, but he is a liar."
Right.
And that's what I was worried about when I first got the case, because they asked me to come in and work that case because I had worked other cases like it. And Harold's just sitting there all confident and whatever else. Please don't say this is you. I'm just saying this is my experience, because Harold told all these different stories. But when you start out with your defense attorney saying, "My client is a liar, he's just making up crap," that's to the victim's family on how
Right.
Tony died. That's to his friends at church. And all of them got up and testified. These are the different ways Tony died.
Again, it's not dead.
Again, it's not dead.
But he might be today. You don't know that if someone is willing, if this, whether it's related or not, the head thing, if someone's willing to hold a kid for 30 days, how are they not willing to kill him?
Can I ask you something, or can I say something?
Yes.
Even if the scenario would have been me just going to go talk to the lady here and telling them, "Hey, this is what happened. This is who did it. I know that he was hurt by someone." You know what the next question you're going to say to me? Who was this person? And all I'd say to you was, well, can you help me figure it out from this app? Or can you help me figure it out from this? And you know what you would say to me? "Oh, yeah, sure." Right? That's exactly what you would say to me. So finding unless I can take you directly to where Gannon is, safe and sound,
Safe and
that is
sound.
the only way that you're going to be like, "Oh, okay, she was the truth about it."
So she
So
was
this person
telling the
is
truth.
telling you that he's safe.
So that's the only thing. I've even asked y'all, or I say y'all again, I mean, you're
I get it.
hey, please help. Why isn't there a word? Please, please, please. You're not understanding. Like, I have begged that completely. Like, day in and day out. Begged it. Begged
Day in
it
and
to let
I
me.
still don't understand.
Day in and day out.
So in this discussion where you're trying to find information about how could there be blood in these places and on walls and Eduardo and Quincy and all that kind of thing, is this consistent approach from her in that she then doesn't want to give you any answers?
Yes.
When either in the recorded consensual phone calls with Mr. Stauch or this interview, did she ever give you any explanation like, you know what, I just woke up and Gannon was hurt and I don't know what happened?
No.
she ever say that she blacked out and Gannon was just gone and didn't know what happened?
She said once that her head was hit and she was unconscious during part of this period, but not that she didn't know what happened.
Okay. Did she ever say she woke up in some other place and didn't know what happened?
No.
Some point, there's been a couple of references now where she's wanting to go off camera, and she does it here again as well. Some point, does one of the DAs that was with you out in South Carolina actually come into the room and have a discussion with her about going off camera?
Yes.
Was that Martha McKinney?
Yes, it was.
Who was the other DA that was with you out in South Carolina? Do you remember?
I don't.
Was it the young lady sitting here with us, Angelina
Yep.
Gratiano?
Hi.
She look familiar?
Yes, she does.
I'm going to jump to that section. So jumping to 2 hours, 34 minutes and 20 seconds through 2 hours, 44 minutes and 54 seconds. And before I jump, as I'm typing in that timestamp to get to that exact point, is it shortly after this where you actually leave the room for a little while and have a discussion about, can we do this off-camera thing?
Yes.
And when you did that, was that leaving her in the room, the defendant in that same room by herself for some period of time?
Correct.
Did she do anything unusual inside the room during that time?
I recall.
Starts talking in Spanish or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So we're at 2:34:20, and I'm going to play through
So
2:44:54.
Spanish speaking. What is this? It starts talking in Spanish.
Yeah, it is, Judge.
Thank you.
I think going forward, how many more of these do you have to play?
Well, the whole thing, like I've told you before, Judge, is
Well, let me rephrase mine. Let me give you some guidance. I think if it's going to be longer than about 10 minutes, Mr. Gruesome can step down.
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I can just make notes of when they're going to be longer like that. And then this should get us to about 3:10, Judge. So
Okay.
maybe we can take the break right after this one.
I'm with the district attorney about this.
Just so you know, I looked behind there. This place is under construction. There's no one back. I can walk you back there if you want to look.
Oh, no, I believe you. I just talking about all these people watching.
Yeah, and Martha's been watching
Yeah.
I have, yeah. John said you wanted to talk to me?
about protection.
So I don't have any trust in anyone. Obviously, I know I've told him that I said things to Albert because I was not whatever. But how do I know that I'm gonna get help? Like, because I didn't hurt him at all. But I need the help to figure out how we're gonna get to him.
Let me read you what she wrote,
Okay.
or I'll just show it to you.
And I know it's Saturday. I probably
I had thing was Saturday, it had nothing to do with this one. So we do have your phone, and we have gone through, like, these are keystrokes.
right. I'm talking
Oh.
about like it's when you download it.
Did you have a different phone beside the one that was in your van?
Hmm?
Did you have another phone, like a second phone?
Yeah. No. It's the same phone. The
It's the
same phone.
same
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
phone?
No, not the same phone. You guys have the phone. That was just the real phone.
Okay,
Yeah.
but at this time, but
Yeah,
it
I'm saying
disappeared.
that's the same. The 843 is the
Okay.
655 number.
But you didn't have a second one that this app might be on.
No. I only have this phone.
So, and let me explain, Martha, my understanding of what Letecia's asking is, how does she know, since I've said, if there's a bad guy or guys out there that did this to Gannon, that she can tell us where these guys are, and she's concerned for not only her safety, but the safety of her family.
Right.
And how can
He
she,
asked me would I trade my life for Gannon, and I said yes, but I said it's also other people. Like, how do I know that everyone else is not going to be in this? And how do I know that you guys aren't just trying to be like, whatever, if I walk you through anything or can help you with anything, I don't want to be just thrown somewhere, like being like, okay, well, you didn't tell me this, and I want to be able to help you and work together because I'm sure you have kids or grandkids or whatever. I do. I don't want to sound like I'm cold-hearted and I'm just tired of being like the person chased instead of being able to have someone that actually have compassion to help me.
Well, I was a little bit confused when I was watching it, because John talked about how they're the FBI, and they're the premier law enforcement agency that could protect you, could protect your entire family. And they, if Gannon's alive,
Okay.
I can't make you any promises,
Right.
because obviously there's a lot of information that you have that we don't.
Okay.
So there aren't any promises. I can't come in here and promise you anything regarding the court case or, the arrest warrant or your involvement.
Okay.
But I can tell you what the number one priority is.
Right.
And it's to find Gannon.
Right.
And so if you were talking to some small law enforcement agency and they said, sure, we'll protect you, I mean, I can see how you would be
Right.
suspicious of that.
Well, you guys
This
were
is
the
it.
lead agency. That's why I was
That's
asking.
it. Yeah, I mean, they're the most elite agency there is.
Oh, okay.
And so if there was a time for you to feel like that you could protect, the
That reporter, we can. If
Because
you
I know you have yours. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
as a backup.
So, if you want the recording turned off, you need to tell us really explicitly that that's your choice. Because the recording, have been put into law so that there's not a debate where he says you said one thing and you said I didn't, right? So it's to protect the person being interviewed.
Right.
But if it's something that you.
It's not that I'm trying to, I just don't, it's just, I wanted to have like a conversation with
Right.
him, just him, and try to explain to him in complete detail about everything, because I do want this, I want the help to the next level to find out where he is. I really do. You guys have looked, you went to GPSs and all this, but you haven't found Gannon because you're coming after me. And I understand you're gonna say, well, this is what we have to go on, and I respect that totally. But it was the first time I ever get to sit down with people to actually to say, okay, this is what happened, this is what I know, please help me. Because then I feel like if I don't, because see, I easily would be like, hey, just give me an attorney and call it a day. I really want. So do you think I want to waste time if I got resources when that's all I've asked for? I don't want to waste time.
And if there's a chance it can be saved, everybody wants that information. But the only people who can save them are the FBI. I don't want you to think that this is being broadcast to the whole world.
Right,
You know, there's another DA with me, there's no County County person.
right.
No, it's not being broadcast to the whole world.
But they're the ones, the reason that we do that also is I might miss something, and I probably do. And so then I can go talk to him and say, what am I
Winston.
missing?
Right.
And then also it protects you, because if I make a promise that I can't deliver on with the FBI, then Martha gets to hear it, and then she would knock on the door.
But as soon as I give you information, what's going to happen is someone's going to say, well, you were involved with this person. You were cheating with this person. You were doing this. I'm just giving you scenarios.
But that's a lot better situation than you're
But,
in right
but
now.
what if I wasn't? That's my thing. And that's where the burden of proof, I can't depend my life on the burden of proof to be involved with just someone thinking that I'm just a bad person. I did not hurt Gannon. Okay.
There aren't any promises I can make you about you. I can tell you that we're looking for the truth. And it seemed to me from listening to it that you had information, but I can't make you any promises.
But what I'm saying is, if you're saying to me, I have information, you're going to come and say, well, you should have given this information when I did nothing but attack.
But-
That's what I'm
But
saying.
you
You see what I'm
can't-
saying?
You can't armchair quarterback yourself, though. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't look into the future and say, well, we're going to say this because you said that. If what Martha and I are saying are true, and that our only focus is Gannon, we don't care who leads us there, we just need Gannon, then you are protecting yourself by telling us this. If you never give us this information, then you don't protect yourself. And then we have one person to prosecute for Gannon.
When our focus is who took him and who hurt him, not when people came forward with information.
Rough and ready,
So I
thank you for
know
the
that.
cash app.
Because
Appreciate that.
that's my biggest thing. I know you're saying that, But like, whatever I can do to help, I can help you. But I'm saying, how do I know that if, let's just say it's a, whatever, I tell you a specific person, okay? Let's just say that, okay? Then my thing is, well, your thing is going to be like, well, you held this information from me and I'm having to utilize my resources, okay, and do all those things, not understanding that maybe sometimes there are people who are afraid of any other things going on.
Every day in my work, there are people who report things later than some people think they should. Every day. And we try to focus on the violent crime. We certainly try to focus on the kids. I know that you want assurances and you want me to be able to say, you know, I will or won't do this. And I can't make you promises because I'm in the dark, right? It would be foolish for me to make you promises, but I have people who late report sex assault all the time. We have people who come forward years later. Our interest is in the truth about the crime. This is really all conversation to have. And I know that you wanted to have a frank conversation with them where you could really tell them. But unless you need me, I will step out.
But you're still going back in the room.
Would
Unless
you
you
like
want to
that?
turn it off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll turn it off.
How do I know that? Not that I don't want you to know
No.
anything. I want to be able to like really talk to you. Know that I can sincerely see in your heart you're going to help me.
I can bring you back there and you can see us turn it off. But the truth is, I could just turn it back on again.
I know.
I mean, there's a point where no one can verify everything you want.
Well, plus, that's her lie. She has to tell the truth, just like that to you, when you don't want her to listen to you. You kind of have to look at logic here.
Okay.
I don't think Martha would throw away.
I don't want you to. I want you to have all the information.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
So are you okay with the reporting continuing? We just won't be monitoring.
No, I didn't. He said that we
You
wouldn't.
wanted to turn off?
He said I could just talk to him.
Okay. So we're just going to turn off the reporting, and that's your choice. That's
Okay.
what you want,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And so he controls the turning it off from here, or are
No,
they?
you'll have to ask.
Okay, I'll have
Find
to.
someone.
And so it's just going to get turned off,
Okay.
And then once it's done, then I'll come back out and we'll turn it back on.
and it'll be a conversation between the two of you, and it'll be like the way law enforcement.
All right.
Anything else for me?
No.
I'm gonna go get him. Turn it off.
No. It's fine. I just.
So that's that portion, Judge. Do you want to take the break now or go a little bit more?
Let's go a little bit longer.
Okay. Mr. Grusu.
Feel okay? Okay, yeah, let's go a little bit longer.
Some point, did you have a discussion with the defendant during this interview where you're talking about ransom?
Yes,
Why was that part of the discussion?
she had brought that up. I think it was on February 15th that Quincy Brown was demanding a ransom. And also, since we were talking about a group possibly having Gannon, I couldn't see another reason why someone would have him. He would still be alive without them asking for something in demand.
But why bring it up in that particular interview? Why confront her with that?
Just to change tactics a little bit and see if she will move somewhere else, really.
Okay. In that portion of the discussion, were you also talking to her about in ransom cases, kids don't actually turn out to be okay?
Yeah, and maybe I'd worked one ransom case, if that. We don't see that very often. Normally our rule is the 24-hour rule, the 48-hour rule. The further away you get from an abduction, the less likely the child is going to survive. And so now we were at over a month.
Does that same hold true for a missing kid? So the longer you get away from the point that a kid goes missing, the chances of survival go down as well?
Correct.
Did the defendant bring up who she describes as an FBI agent named Barbara?
Yes.
What was your take on that portion of the discussion?
Barbara.
I did not know a Barbara who was involved, and I asked the Colorado Springs office if there was a Barbara working in the case, and they said no as well.
Okay.
So she was lying. Oh, that's shocking. Shocking. She was lying.
The next section, Judge, that I want to get into is about a
Thank you for the
10-minute video. Do
Cash
you want me
App,
to go into that,
rough
play it,
and ready.
and then?
Let's do that and then
Okay.
take a break.
So preceding that, she's already sort of challenged you on, because you asked the question a particular way, that shows that she couldn't trust you as it relates to Quincy being in Mexico. Do you remember that part?
Yes,
Does she bring that up again about that's why I have a problem with trust?
yes.
All right, and so I'm going to jump to 2 hours and 49 minutes and 1 second. So this is a 10-minute section, Judge. And then if we're going to go directly to break, maybe he can come down.
That's fine. You can step down. Thank you, sir.
And then it happened February 5th, I think. So what happened was I got all the messages when I logged back in for my iCloud. I got all the messages that were just sitting there. And so I took that message and I forwarded it to I sent it to Albert. And I said,
Hi,
hey,
buddy,
I said, can
darling.
you get someone to like look into this? I said it could be just people, you know, sending random messages, or it could be creepers, you know, like people, whatever, being stupid, or it could be just in general, you know, the actual person. And so no one ever said anything to me about it. Then I get the Snapchat. Okay, so that.
But let me interrupt you first. Letecia, there's an 11-year-old kid. Again, we have to go back there. 11-year-old kid, injuries in the house. Now we know that. Taken. And you don't come to law enforcement?
This was a law enforcement
But no,
person.
there's no,
Yes, Winston, there's Quincy Brown. Don't forget Eduardo. FBI agent Barbara. I think there's an angel coming up. The woman with the pregnant belly that was really full of cash. Don't forget her. Don't forget the woman with the cleaning supplies that she sells that lives in that big arse house in Colorado that Letecia was staying with over her garage. And that's why he hears the dogs bark. Don't forget her.
no Barbara. I mean, how did you get in from, except through your friend? You had
She
Amber
said-
from the FBI.
Right, but she said that she worked with the FBI and she was going to send information. She said that she worked with Amber. I swear to you, if you call Amy, you can get the number from her to find out what Barbara, who's the Barbara lady. And she was actually
Oh, yes, Uncle Matt.
emailing her today.
But if you told them back then and you trusted them with that information,
This is why
why are you not today? When
because no one has helped. I tried since February 5th. The 5th. Today's March. That's why you see I had such a problem with trust. Is because it's
I
been
was there when you were talking to Amber, though. That was your chance. And
through
that's,
Amber.
yeah, that's the
Right.
legit
She has a
FBI.
problem with trust,
Exactly. What
guys.
happened when I was
It's not
talking
her
to
fault.
Amber,
She has
I
a
got
problem with
message
trust.
back from the attorney who said not to talk to you guys because you guys, A, weren't the lead agency or something like that. And then B, not to say anything else unless he was present. That was when I was trying to talk to Amber.
But why wasn't that with Barbara then?
Because I gave it to my friend Amy, who had this relationship with Barbara, like trying to check on her.
But
Oh,
see,
her
and
friend
I-
Amy, who had a
again,
relationship
this
with
sounds
Barbara.
like a lot of your calls
Mhm.
to where you're pointing fingers in different directions, but never giving specific things.
Right, I gave
Right
it.
now, I mean, if Gannon is somewhere and you can get us there, and he sent proof of life or a picture of Gannon or whatever else, it makes no sense for some man to have an
That's not-
11-year-old child.
It wasn't that. It was because we thought it was someone playing games. And if someone was playing games, we were trying to say that that person would have been like obstructing or whatever. That was the whole point. Not
Obstructing or
some-
whatever. They were
Somebody
playing
had
games.
him and they were like, here, come get. My point was that we thought it was someone, hey, here's someone playing games. Could you find out who this person is?
Yeah, but do you see where that's going? And
Or
all your
someone
talks
playing
about.
games.
Those are distractions. Those take up time.
Yeah,
And Gannon's over here. Somehow.
yeah.
And you are misleading law enforcement.
No, I didn't mislead them.
Mm-mm.
Well, you're misleading anybody who would report to us.
No, I didn't mislead any of them. Who did I mislead?
Who
With
did I
all these other
mislead?
stories.
That was to Albert. It wasn't misleading wrong.
But you
That
knew
was
we
to
were in the room.
Albert.
You
Yeah,
just
because
said that.
I wouldn't have said stuff like that if I was trying to mislead. I was just being whatever to Albert because he was making me upset. That's all.
Whatever.
A dad of a kid who's is not finding his son.
Because I'm also
Excuse me. She also told the investigators in El Paso all that crap about the sexual assault and all of that. So she did. She's some piece of work.
stepmother who helped him get the kids, and he wouldn't have gotten them without me.
Hi, Lex
So,
Luthor.
yes, he wouldn't have.
You're willing to do that to Al, though.
No, I already had apologized to him.
Apologize to Al, yeah.
Out of anger. I had already done that.
But before we kick this thing in motion about all this protection and whatever, why haven't you said one thing, though, today? How in the world would he suffer a head wound on Saturday that required...
I didn't say it was a head wound that required
head
anything. I said the
thing?
head thing you're talking about.
Now she's gonna
when
get
I
a
said
little
something
uppity.
to Albert. I said the head thing you're talking about. That's what I said.
So the bike accident thing?
You already trying the bike?
The bike.
The head thing talking to Albert.
Never mind.
Never mind.
I'll just wait until you are ready to talk to me with from beginning.
She just really said, never mind. I'll just wait until you're ready to talk to me from the beginning. She sounds like those teachers that you have in elementary school that go, well, we're just going to wait. And I can wait a long time. We're just going to sit here and wait. You know those teachers, right? I can wait. We're not doing anything until this, whatever it is that she wants, stops. And then we'll just sit here and wait. So that's Letecia. She's playing the wait it game.
To the end, because I already said that that is completely irrelevant to anything that we're
Irrelevant.
talking about. Completely irrelevant.
Completely.
I told Albert something else that was just story, just to be whatever to him. And it
Whatever.
was wrong, and I already had apologized.
So
to
the
Albert.
things that you
Can't
told
stand the way she says
Albert
that.
were that he was peeling these burns.
Whatever.
Was that happening?
I'm not going to answer any more questions because you're asking me about things telling Albert out of being upset.
We can
There's
wait all
nothing
day.
happening that
Yeah.
I was telling Albert. Nothing. I was literally just saying that to Albert because I was upset for him not standing by me and was figuring this out. This had nothing to do with me wanting to purposefully do whatever or tell you guys anything. That was not what it was.
But-
It was me being upset with Albert.
Let me go back to a kid missing is about as bad as it gets.
Oh, yeah.
I had a bank robbery 15 years ago to where a female went in the bank, she robbed the bank, she got the money, she came back to the car, and she drove away.
Mm-hmm.
She was prosecuted for that. There were guys in the car with guns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but she could have gone into the bank, said, lock those doors, those guys are making me do this.
Right.
You know, yours is now, we have 30-some days of Gannon missing, and you haven't talked to one law enforcement officer to say, I know where he is and he's safe.
I never did not try to talk to you guys.
I never did
I never
not
did
try.
No one ever.
PhD.
When I felt like I was getting like a completely like bam, farted by El Paso, no one ever reached out to me from FBI to like have a conversation like you did.
No one
No
ever
one ever
left me out like you.
And
You
don't
really,
feel comfortable talking to El Paso Valley.
you're the creepy.
Not that I don't feel comfortable talking to them. I just feel like from point A to point B, they have taken this approach, and if you made even a comment about Lake and about this,
Right.
because that's the approach that they've taken, as if it's a person who is not alive, and that bothers me because I don't want.
Well,
Anyone
we're
to
actually
take
the
that
ones,
approach.
we're the ones that told them that, and that's statistically true.
What you statistically told me.
From Gannon's age,
Mm-hmm.
and from the amount of time that he's been missing, he is most likely dead.
But what I'm saying is, as a parent, is that maybe because you're like used to saying that or something, but is that something like as a parent you would want to hear?
No. But would you rather hear a lie? Would you rather hear statistically he's probably alive? When it's about I would say it's less than a 1% chance at this point.
But why?
Him being 11, they would have asked for something. If
But why?
kidnappings
But
don't
why?
happen
But why?
without a demand
But
or
why?
without it being a parental deal.
But why infinity?
Parental deal or a demand.
Yeah.
So you're saying that nothing else, nobody intervenes ever. Ever.
I've seen one at a time, and again, I've worked violent crime in Denver for 20 years, a little over. And I saw one kid wander down the street. He had autism, and this was up in Brighton. And a guy took him in the house. He had him for a day. The guy was mentally disabled as well, so we had two things happening at once. We had a kid with autism who just started wandering, and then we had a developmentally delayed adult who was just playing video games with him for 24 hours. But we ended up, the public said, there. And I remember knocking on the door. He had made little blankets for the kid in there. The kid was playing video games, and nothing bad had happened.
Right.
That's the exception. I've been to where kids have been dismembered, 10-year-olds.
That's awful.
And from the blood in the house, that's what I'm thinking
That's awesome.
happened. I'm not saying he
Dismembered?
just got dismembered in the house, but there's enough blood in there that we don't think he survived.
How could you have possibly say that when you clearly see Gannon walking, leaving on Monday? See, that's
Leaving on Monday at 10, yes,
right,
correct.
right. Walking, okay,
But he comes back,
walking,
correct.
okay, walking.
Not walking well.
Totally fine. Don't hurt, walk with like this, yeah.
Yeah, but he's back at 2.
Back at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
If that's what you say, then then this whole thing is even pointless to even say
That's what
anything.
you say.
Because if you're saying back at 2, but then you're also saying something about going legs and here and there and whatever, and it's none of it is even making sense. It doesn't even make sense.
So
to me.
between the two Petco trips is when he disappeared then.
It doesn't make sense to me
Letecia.
to say.
So let me tell you, I've been working for 14 years with a guy named Scott Kimball. He's our informant that went around killing the girls. You remember me telling you about him before?
Oh, yeah.
When we first started. Not our best day, because I have dads out there who still wonder if their daughters are alive. Scott taught me one thing very well. There's only 2 people that can tell a story when someone either goes missing. Because one of these girls, Jennifer, is still missing. Like I said, we're pretty sure she's dead because it's been 14 years since anybody's seen her. But Scott told me, John, only 2 people can testify to what happened between me and Jennifer. And that's me, and that's Jennifer.
Right.
And you're never going to find her.
He said that to you?
He did.
Wow.
So I've got to answer to his dad for the rest of my life. And I'll probably be answering to his dad after I retire because Dad has my cell phone. Dad calls me on her birthday, on the day she went missing, on Father's Day.
How was he able to say that to you?
She wants to
Because
know
he's
how did he
there's
make
no
sure
other
that.
witnesses. So when I take a guess, and that's a guess that he came back home, that's because people that looked on the videos said he probably did, or,
High halo effect.
the information you have. And I hear you do that to Al by saying, oh, so that's what you think. Well, no, you know.
Because I have.
That's 3 hours. Oh, wait a minute. Did I stop at a minute too early? I think I did. My eyes are getting bad. We got 1 more minute.
All right.
That way. If I don't be that way, then no one's going to help me. I didn't hurt Gannon. I didn't.
That's
I
fine,
didn't
but
hurt
right now you're the
Gannon.
only
I
one
didn't.
who's listening.
But I didn't hurt Gannon.
I didn't hurt
But
him.
how are you going to get past these charges without help? How does that work?
Without help.
You're going to
Without you
help
telling
me.
me. Like, again, it'd be like someone, I told you the story about Jennifer. If somebody knew where Jennifer was, and they're not telling me or Bob Markham, the
I
dad,
didn't say I knew where Gannon was.
you said you know he's okay.
No, I said as a parent, I'm never going to sit here and look at you and say, he's not okay. That's not what I'm going to do. Because I didn't do this. So why would I look at you and say that?
Yes, it will continue on
I'm
Monday.
looking at you in the eye saying, I would never as a parent say that. No way could I ever say that. Because I love Gannon. I did not hurt Gannon.
I told,
All right, now it's really 3 hours, 1 minute and 35 seconds.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we won't take our afternoon break
Okay.
until 3:35. If I can
Let's skip
have,
ahead.
hold on just a minute.
If I forget it.
Yeah.
He takes it out.
Thank you. You may all be seated. Recall 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch. Record should reflect the return to the courtroom. Mr. Allen?
Thank you, Aaron. We'll just need the screens turned back on again. Thank you, Judge. In that last section, and also in the section where the other DA was in the room, appears that defendant used misdirection again. Again, was that fairly common throughout this whole thing?
Yes, and she was very effective at doing it when we brought the district attorney in, and she couldn't promise Letecia something. That was yet just another obstacle that we had to overcome to get to the questions we were asking.
Similar to the idea that if she would put conditions out there that maybe even be difficult for you to meet.
I
Yeah,
think
the
it's
witness
after this,
protection,
Barb, that they did that.
The DEA involving other federal agencies. You know, she had a very organized way of thinking about how I might not be able to do the things she's asking, and thus she might not have to answer the questions.
When the misdirection would be employed by the defendant, was it around specific points of interest in the story of what happened to Gannon?
Yes.
Such as what?
Well, right now we were trying to figure out who had him to get at the identity of that. And that was where we were focused. And then instead of giving a name, she would give conditions. But looking back at the phone calls, she would do the same thing with Al.
Thank you to
It was a
whoever put
condition
up
of their
the super
relationship
chat. I'm sorry, I
status
missed-
first
missed
before
that.
she would give the location of Gannon.
Do you remember her making a statement right after what we just watched where she says, "I'm not the one"?
Yes.
The one?
And you then go through a description of extradition to Colorado and being in jail.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna play that next, and that starts at 3 hours, 1 minute, 41 seconds through 3 hours, 3 minutes and 33 seconds.
Their cameras showed them,
We'll just
Caleb.
play it directly from here, actually, because it's only 6 seconds later.
and most of these happen. They happen in the house with parents who love their
I
kids.
get what you're saying, okay? I understand. I appreciate what you're saying. I appreciate all the work and time and dedication you put into all of these
Appreciates
things
it.
that happen.
It's good to feel appreciated.
But I am not the one.
But then if you're not the
I'm not the
one,
one.
you're going, so do you know what happens from here?
What?
You go to a local holding cell.
Okay.
They hold you for 24 up to 2 weeks until you get extradited back to Colorado.
Okay.
All
You're
right.
in jail, Letecia.
Good with that.
And unless you tell me that somebody else did this, you're the only one that did it.
No, I didn't do it.
I didn't do
But I'm
it.
telling you,
Mm-mm.
But
that's,
I
me.
didn't.
I didn't.
that's
Promise
what
you.
would be horrible. Is if someone else did this, and you're going to let them skate because you're scared?
Not letting someone skate. If
What
I,
could you possibly be scared of at this point?
I'm not letting. Do you think I would sit here and let someone skate if I could take you directly to the person right now? Why do you think I would need resources?
You don't need resource. Right now, what you need is that if someone took my son,
Yeah.
and I know who it is, am I going to go to jail for the rest of my life because someone else took my son?
No, absolutely not.
No. And would I be afraid of my own protection going to jail when I could be free and that person could go to jail?
Right.
Yeah,
That
but
doesn't
she
make
just
any
sit
sense.
there. Even if I walked you to the person, she just sit there and said, "Oh, I can't make any promises."
You can't make promises. Which is better? To go to jail for the rest of your life and hope that we find the person, or to point us to a person?
Hi, Delano.
If I'm in your position, it makes no sense.
Right.
What could you be scared of at this point? Reprisals?
No, the fact that you don't have. Apparently, you would have found some of this already if you would have had the resources. That's what scares me.
So stopping it at 3 hours, 3 minutes and 33 seconds. After you explained the extradition, you said you're the only one that did this. Does she then use misdirection again to get you off topic and move you away from trying to press her?
Yes.
What's your impression of that very
They
end?
found his body on
where,
March
What
17th.
scares me from her perspective is you would have found this if you had the resources. What's your take on that?
It's what I explained to her earlier, that she's expecting me to know answers to the questions that only she has the answers to.
Is she also, in a sense, challenging whether you even have the ability as an FBI agency to provide her the things that she's putting down as conditions?
Yes.
Did you confront her by saying, right after this, her story makes no sense?
I did.
So I'm gonna jump to that section. It's 3 hours, 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And it goes through 3 hours, 4 minutes and 59 seconds.
So your story makes no sense. And what it goes back to now
Okay.
is that you can't take responsibility for what happened to Gannon.
I didn't do anything to Gannon, sir.
You can't insert someone else in here unless you're going to tell me who it is.
Okay, I didn't do anything to Gannon.
That's fine. But then you would tell me who it is if
I
it's
didn't
someone
do
else.
anything to Gannon.
Did he do it to himself?
I didn't do anything to
I'm
Gannon.
not
sir.
asking you.
I didn't
You
do
did.
anything
I'm
to
asking
Gannon.
Gannon.
did Gannon do it to himself?
Do what to himself?
The head injury, the neck injury, whatever that was that caused that pool of blood down by the bottom of its bed. You know that the sheets and all that stuff, the blood seeped down in,
And what now?
the blood seeped down
In
that through that
sheets?
corner,
Hmm?
through
In
the
the
sheets into the
sheets?
mattress.
In the sheets?
I have no idea what you're even
I have no idea.
You cleaned it up off the wall.
So wait.
There's, you know where the head of his
I
bed
don't-
was.
I don't know anything about blood and sheets, okay? I did not take any sheets and clean them.
You told Al on the phone you cleaned up the wall.
So now paused at 3 hours, 4 minutes and 59 seconds. You start to confront her about the head injury and the blood and all that sort of thing. Did she use misdirection there again, directing away from the head injury?
Yes.
What was significant about that to you?
By this point, none of my questioning was effective with her. So every time we would go to one of these and she would misdirect, the significance just was that I was going to have to change course yet again.
Again, was this happening as you're trying to dive into what actually happened to Gannon, but then she diverts over to the sheets?
Yes.
What's happening here where someone's come in and said something to you and then you're getting up to leave?
So Letecia had requested to talk to me off camera, and the police department could not turn the camera off, so they had decided to get us a separate room, and myself and Special Agent Cohen were going to speak with Letecia off camera in this other room.
And so is there a period of time where the room is just empty while you're off with the defendant in some other room?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about that. And so I'm gonna play it until both of you are out of the room and then we'll pause it again.
Okay.
Think, Letecia, think. What are you going to do? Oh, boy. Think. She's 8 weeks pregnant, don't forget. 8 weeks pregnant. In her mind. Oh my gosh, should I run for it? Should I run for it? I think I hear him coming.
Hey, Letecia, for your request, I'm just gonna leave that recorder in there. We're going to a room that doesn't record. Are you sure you don't need to go to the restroom?
I'm good.
You sure you don't need to go to the restroom? It's been a long time, hun.
You need anything to eat? Take your water with you just in case. Okay.
Take your water. I don't want it. Take your water. I don't want it. Take your water. I don't want it.
Great.
So, before we get into this off-camera discussion that you had with the defendant,
Yeah,
that little
some-
portion where she was inside the room
There
by
was
just
something to that
herself,
effect with a
did you
knife
see
or
anything in
something that's
there
full of
that
crap.
caused you concern as to her mental faculties?
No.
Did she appear to be acting normal to you?
Yes.
This off-camera discussion, let's talk about first just the process that was undertaken here. Who was involved with it, first of all?
Well, Myrtle Beach arranged for us to have another room to talk with her in. I believe chairs were already put out. It was a lot bigger room than this one, from what I recall. And myself, I introduced, or I guess Special Agent Cohen introduced himself, and we just sat in the middle of the room to see what she had to say.
And when you say Special Agent Cohen, you're talking about the guy sitting here?
That guy, yes.
That guy? Should we call him that guy from now on? How long would you say that portion of your interaction with the defendant lasted?
I recall about 30 or 40 minutes, maybe.
Was she talking to you in that room much the same way we've been seeing in this recorded interview?
Yes.
Can you give the jury some
Yeah, I
idea as
got
to
it
what
too,
that
Lex.
means?
It was more of needing protection that I recall. The primary things I remember from this was that this person or people that she was saying was responsible for Gannon might have been associated with an app that was on her phone, and that Al had wanted Letecia to participate in a threesome. And this person that was part of the threesome might be the person responsible for Gannon's disappearance.
Oh,
When you say these people, is she pointing her finger away from herself saying these people, or is she saying these people that are inside of herself?
No, it's another person, and why I say people is when she's talking to me, it sounded like a group. So I'm leaving that just kind of open, but she was referring to this threesome as like it was another female who was involved. That if we find
sure,
who's
some girl.
in this app, we might find the person who
Oh,
abducted
sorry.
Gannon.
Speaker microphone test.
And when you're saying
Sorry.
app, you're talking about, was she saying an app on a phone?
That's correct.
Okay. And when we're talking about these other people, just to be very clear, she's not, well, is she saying that these other personalities that are inside of her own self,
No.
other persons or personalities?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Did she describe in that portion of your interview, this off camera, a different way in which Gannon suffered a head injury?
Yes.
What was that?
I believe it was the pushing the beds together.
Okay. Did she describe that as occurring on Saturday night?
did
So that
that
would be
happen?
January 25th.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Do you remember her giving you any description as to her looking at and assessing that injury?
Yes. Letecia said she looked at the injury, assessed it, and said it wasn't
That's probably a good idea,
very
Winston.
egregious.
Did she include specifically that it didn't even need stitches?
Yes.
Did she give a description
look
as
like
to
her?
where
Yes,
on the
because he
head?
could only be
that
attracted to women
injury
that look
occurred?
like her.
I don't recall at this point.
Okay. If you saw your report, would that refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay, hold on just a second. 117219.
Well, they don't really tell us how he got it from pushing the beds together.
No, I'm not seeing it in this particular report, so let me come back to that in just a moment. Did she talk to you about taking a SIM card from her phone?
Yes.
What did she say about that?
Yeah, I don't remember that either, sorry.
Okay, well, that one is definitely in this report that I've got in my hand right now. Before I get to that, though, were you aware from the investigation that her cell phone was seized by El Paso County Sheriff's Office on January 29th when she tried to leave the sheriff's office during her interview?
Yes,
Do you know, or are you aware of cell phones having SIM cards that are in them?
correct.
And so her indication that she still had a SIM card from that phone, would that be factually possible?
It should not be.
Okay. I'm going to show you again. It's 7219. I'm sorry, 7219. SIM card sections here. This is pagination 11-7220, page 3 of 4.
Good night, Debbie.
When you're done.
Okay,
Debbie L.
Did that refresh your memory?
yes.
What did she say about the SIM card?
She said that it was the SIM card she had previously, but she had placed it in her friend's phone.
Okay. Did she describe getting a bunch of messages then at that time?
Yes,
Was this another distraction in your mind?
yes, it was
Yes.
nothing that we thought was possible. I don't even know if the investigation was able to verify it or not, because that happened after my involvement.
Okay. And then going back to that head injury issue that we were talking about earlier, where I asked if it would refresh your memory to see the report. I just didn't pick up this one page. 11-721.
Hi, Crystal.
May I approach and have him review that page? Or
Okay, go ahead.
it's this last paragraph on this page.
Okay,
Did that refresh your memory?
it did.
Where did she describe that head injury that was caused by pushing the beds together occurring on Gannon's head?
She said it was a gash in his left temple.
Did she also give a full assessment of other injuries during this portion?
No,
Okay. Was there some discussion here about Angel and Petco?
Angel, here you go.
yes.
What do you remember her saying about that?
Well, we discussed Angel later, back on camera, but I remember Angel coming up as a result of this app and the threesome that happened. Is Angel was a female who may have been involved in Gannon's disappearance.
And this Angel is potentially the one that the defendant was suggesting might have been contacted for the threesome issue?
Correct.
Shortly after that portion of the discussion, do you come back on camera with the defendant?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna retrieve that page of the report from you.
Silly.
And jump to the next time that you're in the room, which is 3 hours, 13 minutes, and 25 seconds. Is this immediately after you get out of that separate room that's not recorded, do you then discuss Angel on camera?
Yes.
Is that what we're about to watch here?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to play 3 hours, 13 minutes, and 25 seconds through 3 hours, 25 minutes, and 41 seconds. Judge, this is about a 12-minute gap of time. So maybe you want Mr. Grusing to step down? Okay.
You all right? With the district attorneys and stuff, for this protection thing with Angel, we have to know last name, all that stuff, how you met her. I mean, I know you say that and whatever, but how else do we identify Angel?
I would say just reach out, maybe.
Can you describe her?
Yeah.
What does she look like?
And she actually got
Yeah.
like, she's definitely.
But where all have you met her? When did she come to your house? Were you saying September? And then who all did she babysit? Uh-huh. Okay.
We had a bunch of
What is she? She's talking so low.
quite a few people that live with me.
What?
So the messages that are coming through to your phone, the, threats or whatever they are they coming from her?
So you can get on the YouTube.
What is she even saying?
What is her Snapchat name?
I would need to have my phone.
Or do you remember? Did it have her name in it? Was it a numbers?
Her Snapchat name? You don't remember it?
That's why I asked for help, but he's not doing that.
Isn't that a shame? She doesn't remember the Snapchat name. Oh,
So, to tell you back that we have to that, but
I don't. If I'm not gonna get any help, I would have to get help.
she has to get help.
I trusted you.
well, we went in there
I know.
and I don't know, Letecia, if it's just the way you're used to communicating
Right.
over a long period of time, but
Yeah.
when you're asked a question, you don't really answer. You kind of go in a little circle. So if I said like, hello, well, I said like, where did you last see Gannon? And then you say, well, it's supposed to drop off,
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
just
I
used
know I'm
to
doing that. Yeah.
asking you a question and then you tell us an answer. It's just,
I just don't. I don't. I've always.
So that's just how you've always done for like the last, 5-10 years?
I mean, most of the time. Newton when he was on home.
What's she saying?
Like,
It's gonna look bad.
no, I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about.
It's not even gonna look like that. Here's what it's gonna look like, is that you were the last one with Gannon. Nothing on this Angel thing we can't authenticate any of that. When you say it's all off camera, like with the black Impala in the parking lot, we have cameras for that whole place and we don't see you meet with
Okay.
anybody.
Well, can you show me that so that I can show you what direction?
Oh, she'll show you
But-
because she'll show you what's off camera.
wouldn't
Oh,
know
it's right
where it
here
is.
where the
Where
camera
did you
didn't get.
What direction? Because I'm not.
Hey, let her see it so she can fabricate a story.
What you talking about? What direction? Like where it would be at, then maybe you could pull like if you want to pull the camera off another place. I mean, there's lots of places you could pull the camera off of. That's all I'm asking for.
Just off camera, guys.
That's offering help.
She's offering to help you guys. Come on now.
Oh, but Gannon goes into this car. I mean, this is a person that you trust,
I do.
right?
That's the thing. What am I supposed to
Angel.
do?
So then why would you go home and say that he's here, that he's now, you're leading,
I never said he was here.
well, that he was at the house. Yeah, but do you see where I'm going with that? Why would you make up that story to law
Why would you
enforcement?
lie? I don't know.
That he was going to a friend's house?
Because if her nephew was a friend. I mean, I don't understand how that's a problem.
Angel's nephew was a friend. Oh, that's right, that they had played together. But did she live in your area? Where did she live?
is, I'm like constantly, like stuff will come through, and there will be people sending stuff, saying stuff.
But the people, are they different people from Angel? I mean, are they acting on her behalf? Because that doesn't sound like a friend to me.
Obviously, if they're not helping with your child. But how do you
Obviously.
think that makes sense?
No shite, Sherlock, is what she just said to him. Obviously.
If he doesn't make sense, you're irresponsible. Not trusting people,
Yeah.
trusting someone.
Do you know who tells the story from here on out? Your
Who?
story?
I ask for help.
But do you know who tells the story? How this works out
I
from
ask
here?
for help.
You to put a person
There is an angel. Well, just like we found Quincy Brown right away, we can find Angel. But if there's not an angel, that's the last story you're going to tell law enforcement about Gannon.
Sir,
Well, but I mean, we'll get your warrants for the threes thing, whatever else. We'll go interview this angel, and if it's like what I think Quincy Brown is, then Angel's just
you're
going
not
to.
trying to help.
I will help you.
Okay. I tried to get your help. When I gave you the wrong information, you tried to. But you
But I think I can help you. How is that?
opened the phone.
But
Did just like they did.
I'm happy to chase down anything you
You
tell
did just like they did.
Letecia, and I can. Is that I think that Al left you alone because he's gone to Alaska for so long, and then he's on this trip, and you're left raising Gannon, and something bad happened. I don't know if it's your fault or Gannon's, it doesn't really matter. And you panic, and you ask, was I the person talking for Al? Yes, I was. But I think the closest you came was talking about his head injury, and then, because you asked Al,
I would have, like,
no, if someone took your son, you would have called.
I did call.
You did not call the police.
Yes, I did. I called the police.
Petco, right when he was taken.
No, that's not taken. He was supposed to be playing.
He was supposed to be
as soon as he got
asleep.
home, I did.
But you were supposed to meet her, what, the next morning?
No, I called immediately when at 6 o'clock at the time he was supposed to be home. I called the police. I did.
And then what did you tell him?
You already know what I told them.
No, but that doesn't make any sense.
Why doesn't? Yes.
Because I told you, I have talked to a lot of people that are sitting in the same chair you are right now, and I've seen them, and I'm sorry if it offends you if I say story, but that's the only way you're coping with this right now.
Coping?
Yes.
Yeah.
We all cope.
Okay. Sir,
We do. I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying that you're unwilling to come to the truth because it's going to be painful.
I gave you the truth. I didn't hurt you. That's the truth.
So the last truth you want to tell me,
I'm
just
not
to
going
make
to say
sure,
anything else, sir.
is the angel story.
I'm not going to say anything else, sir, because you didn't help me.
I will help
I'm
you.
punishing
if will
you.
tell
You didn't help me.
One concrete way to find Gannon.
Not telling you
Okay.
anything.
Letecia,
You're not trying to help me.
You're not helping me.
I'm not trying to help me.
you can be a hero here.
I'm-
You can.
I'm far from a hero.
I'm far
But you
from a
can't
hero.
be.
I'm a parent.
You're a
who
parent.
did not hurt a child.
You're a parent who was left behind to deal with his stepson and stepkid.
It wasn't a problem.
No, it's a problem when something like this happens in the house.
It's not a problem to take care of children.
Then what happens?
That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. Like, for you to say that to someone, it's hurtful. That's what's hurtful. It's not a problem to take care of children.
It's not a problem to take care of children, but bad things happen in the house all the time.
And how? No.
Yes.
No. I mean, John, no. No.
Do you want me to walk through where all the blood was, or do you know it
That's
already?
listen, sir. I don't.
Hmm?
I know for a fact that I did not hurt him.
How is the bottom of your shoe have
And
Gannon's
as
blood?
long as I can live with that and know that God knows I did not hurt Gannon,
God knows.
then I'm okay with that.
And she's
Well,
okay
you
with
can
it.
convince yourself of that all day.
Okay,
But
sir, that's not helping me, sir.
is there a way for me to help you? Even if
Okay.
you're trying to convince yourself it didn't happen,
Okay.
is there some way for you to say through a third party?
Whatever you think.
Whatever you think.
I don't know what else to tell you, but I did not hurt you. Did not.
Did
Then you
not.
won't tell me who did.
Would not.
I would
That
not.
blood would not be in the house if Angel just
I
met
would-
him in a Petco.
Like, that's far beyond what you're even talking about.
What is far beyond?
There's like many of times we've had blood in our house.
Do you remember the spray that was on the wall?
I mean, goodness gracious.
I've seen the markers from the spray. The spray went from the bed all the way up here. Well, you had to clean it up.
Smear?
No, it's not a smear.
Whatever.
It's a spray.
All right, sir. I don't know what you're talking about. Spray. I don't know what that means.
It's called spatter.
I don't know anything about that.
So
Okay.
it comes
Nothing.
from aspirated. You're going to hear all this anyway, so I'll tell you. It comes from aspirated blood.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
No.
It means that he didn't accidentally do it.
Okay. Okay. Whatever. sir.
So that's what we were waiting on for the warrants, because somebody struck Gannon in the bed.
No. If
No.
someone struck Gannon in the bed,
That's
thank
what happened.
God we were all drugged then. If that's what you're saying happened.
That's what the blood.
God, we were all drugged.
Drugged.
Well, then can you tell me how that blood got on the wall?
Sir.
That's Gannon's blood on the wall.
Okay, well, I guess, sir, if you think you have all the answers, then
You're making me guess.
I'm not.
You've got the answers
I'm not
that
making
he
you
said.
this, sir. I'm going to be respectful to you
What
because
he said.
you offered to help me. You didn't help me, so I'm just going to sit here. And,
She's just going to sit there.
So we've got it paused at 3 hours, 25 minutes and 41 seconds. Mr. Grusing, this continuation of the discussion about Angel, was there any indication in the investigation that somebody by the name of Angel was involved in Gannon's disappearance?
No.
At the beginning, when you asked her for her being the defendant for a description of Angel, what did she say?
She said that Angel looks a lot like herself.
Do you remember the
And she's an
defendant
angel.
saying that she had no motive to do this?
Yes.
We're going to play that next. It's 3 hours, 26 minutes through 3 hours, 34 minutes. So about 8 minutes, Judge. I don't know if you want him to stay up for 8 minutes or not, on the stand or not.
Give me just a minute.
Okay.
Where's it? You can, it's up to you, Mr. Grusing, if you want to stay there for the 8 minutes or.
I'll go.
I'll go.
He's got a step skull, I think. I've got it at 3 hours, 26 minutes and 0 seconds. So having skipped roughly 19 seconds, and then we're going to play through 3 hours, 34 minutes.
If someone presents us with evidence, then we just follow the evidence.
okay.
Right now, you're the last person with
Okay.
Gannon.
And I don't do bad things to people. I don't.
I
She
don't
doesn't
think
do
you
bad things to people.
I don't do bad things to anyone.
She doesn't do
And
bad
I
things to
didn't do
anyone.
any
Come
bad
on
things.
now.
I think something bad happened to Gannon, and I don't know of a way to get you to tell me about it.
Okay.
I tried through Al to get you to tell me about it. We've tried here.
Okay.
You
Okay.
came, and I think you have a defense mechanism. And I think your defense mechanism was, you need to go into another room, you tell us.
No, that was not no defense mechanism. I trusted you to talk to you because I thought you would
If you
help.
trusted me to talk to me, you would tell me where Gannon is right now.
I don't know.
Too. You know where he last was, and it wasn't at the pet
Okay.
code.
Okay.
But see, you can't make me guess. That's not
I'm
fair
not-
to me.
Why would I
not
keep
fair to
talking
Gannon.
if you're not going to help me?
You tell me how to help you.
I already did. I already did tell you. I told you how you could help. And,
Nobody helps a kid like that.
okay, if that's what you think.
No, I'm just saying,
Okay.
if the
Sir.
sun comes up in the morning, it goes down at night every
Okay.
day. We have
Sir.
worked hundreds of these things.
For 2 things, okay. Me talking to you is not going to do anything else, because all you're going to do is go think that you're going to get me to say something that I did that I didn't do,
That is not what I want.
because I did not do anything to Gannon. Why would I hurt our child? I had everything in the world. Why? I have no motive. None. Don't have the first motive. Everything I wanted in my life, I had it. Why?
Everything
Doesn't
she
make any
wanted,
sense.
she
It
had.
doesn't make sense a lot of the time what happens inside of a house.
Sir, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
All I can tell you is I don't know.
Hi,
No
Christine
reason
Michael.
to. In fact, to go on the record, I had a way better relationship with Gannon than I did with Lena. Way better. We were so much alike. We always like the same thing. We always have problems with our stomach. We always do all these things.
We always.
Do you know that
We were
there's
so
almost
much
a
alike, me and
correlation
Gannon.
sometimes between how much you get along with someone and how bad things happen in the house? I'm telling you that, Keisha.
Well, maybe bad things happen in your
They
house.
happen in the house a lot more than they do
Maybe
out of
in your
Maybe
house, sir.
Bad things happen in your house.
Maybe in your house, sir.
But
Would it help if we showed you pictures of what we saw on the and by the bed? When you say nothing bad happened, you can't get around. Yes, Al, but we did not show Al that on purpose. He had to come get stuff out of the house. And he looked and saw the blood pool was about this big on the concrete.
okay. And
That
then
is
what?
not from a little gash like that.
Okay, and then what? And then you showed this to him, or how did
No.
he see this?
He had to come get stuff out of the house. I wasn't even there that
Right.
day.
After you allowed people to stay in this house for a week,
I did not allow anybody to do anything.
someone did.
Right, that's not my call.
Okay, so
So what I'm saying though is the wounds that you're describing to
Okay,
him, even
what-
when you're saying it
what-
doesn't,
sir, I'm gonna tell you now.
when you say the head thing was Saturday,
What I'm gonna tell you now is, people were inside of a home living, and it was not me. So maybe you can talk to whoever allowed people to
Whatever
live in the home.
allowed.
Okay? Whatever you're saying that was done extra or whatever, maybe you can talk to those people
Maybe.
who were allowed to stay in a home during this supposedly. Okay? That's
She's just
what
deflecting.
Maybe you can talk to people who were.
you're saying that the injury to Gannon happened.
I'm not saying anything except I know you're telling me this stuff, and you're saying this about, how bad these were and these things were. All I can tell you is maybe you can talk to the people that were allowed to stay in the home during this time. During this time that you have this supposed evidence, people that were allowed to stay in the home and people that were allowed to walk in and out to see it, supposedly. Okay?
So Gannon was in, all these wounds happened after he went.
I'm not saying anything other than,
not
sir,
saying it.
you are telling me, you can sit here on record and telling me that
On record.
Albert went inside somewhere that you were supposed to have as a supposed crime scene.
Wasn't there for that. If you want to get an answer for you about who was with him,
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm saying for you as a professional, you would have allowed that, supposedly?
if he has to go get stuff. yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that's
As
how
long
it
as the scene had been processed.
Okay, process, sure. Okay.
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
sure that's
We'd
how,
not do that.
I'm sure that's
Or
how it works
whatever.
in this country. Doesn't it sound a little bit weird to you?
If the scene has been processed, no.
Okay.
I had a girl that was burned alive in a house in Bailey.
The thing was processed supposedly when people were still there, day 1, day 2, day 3, and the thing was processed. Day 4, day 5, day
Deborah.
6. And the thing was processed.
You're saying that people were going in and out of the house, civilians, while they were processing the scene.
I'm asking you that because apparently
That's
you said the scene was processed, and then you want me to talk to you when I know that how shady that whole
It
situation
was
is.
shady, sir.
And you want me to give you answers for how shady that is.
Shady.
So you need to tell me in the scene that was processed, day 1,
You
day 2,
need
day
to
3,
tell me.
Nobody went in and out.
She's
So people-
taking over the questioning.
Right.
Okay,
When they thought Gannon was still alive.
okay, living there. Okay, but you're saying the scene is processed because you, not you, but people surely were there It's all on camera.
See, right there, she is taking over that, okay? She is the aggressive one. She's taking over there. You need to tell me this, sir. She's not at all feeling afraid, frightened, worried about she's going to jail, what's going on. She's been arrested. They caught her. She has taken over this interview now. If you would look at this real fast and you didn't hear all the crazy language and somebody told you this was the investigator and that guy was the suspect, you could believe it.
There was crime scene people there while people were living there.
Of course, because they didn't know the severity of the scene. They
Okay.
just thought Gannon was ran away, like you said,
Okay.
to go see a
So
neighbor.
the point is, how am I supposed to put my trust and faith in any bit of the system like that when that was going on? How?
So you're trying to put faith in a system
No,
where you
I'm
gave
talking
them
to you. I'm talking to you. I'm saying
If you would have told police the very first night that he was taken forcibly, everything would have been different.
That's not forcibly, okay? I said exactly what I said, which was he didn't come back at 6 o'clock.
If you would have said other people have him and they should not have him, it would have been different. You controlled the way that law enforcement responded.
I did. So now it's my fault.
Now it's my
Yes,
fault.
by
Had
saying he's
people
walking
in
over to
there.
play with a friend.
Had people in there doing a supposed crime scene, and now you have all this stuff after you let people live there. And now you want to look at me and say something. Sir, I did not hurt Gannon. Okay?
Okay, well, who did?
Did not.
Who did?
Did not. Just like all...
Why are
Did
you-
not
Why are you
infinity.
telling me you did not? I don't care if you did or not.
I'm
Keisha.
just telling you. Like, yes, you do
No,
care.
I don't.
You're a father. You care.
I care about Gannon. I don't care if you did it or not.
Or I didn't. Okay?
But you're saying you did it, but that doesn't help us find you.
Okay, well, I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. I would not. No motive. No
I'm
reason
not asking you about
to hurt
motives.
a child. No reason.
Who did?
No reason.
So we paused it at 3
No
hours. 34
reason, no
minutes.
motive. She wouldn't even hurt a fly.
Mr. Grusing, at the beginning you talked to or made a statement about a defense mechanism going into the other room. What was the purpose of you saying that?
Well, defense mechanism or misdirection. I was trying to, hone in on what happened that day. And neither I nor Special Agent Cohen found her story about Angel to be credible.
Oh, really? Surprising, right? He didn't buy the story about Angel.
This tangent that we just witnessed happening, where you're trying to get her to give who hurt Gannon, right? That challenge of that, and then she's talking about the scene instead. What was your impression of that?
It was yet another attempt to knock me off my line of questioning,
Take control.
another misdirection. As you can see, she's very effective at doing it.
Yep.
And I was telling her that the whole reason that law enforcement responded like they did was based on her initial report, but as she continues to talk over me and saying that because of the way she created Gannon just being at a friend's house, now that is a problem. It's yet another big hurdle that I've got to overcome to get to what happened to Gannon.
In that last clip that we played, where it's the discussion about Angel, in some respects, did she actually revert back to Gannon is with a friend and didn't come home on time?
Yes,
So reverting back to the very original story that she told the police on January 27th.
right.
That statement that she makes in this particular portion, she likes Gannon way more than Lena. You remember that?
Yes.
When you went through those searches with her earlier in the interview, did you find any, or did you recount any searches, I should say, to the defendant about involving stepdaughters or Lena specifically?
No.
In fact, you read to her some of those searches. One of them, I don't like my stepson.
Correct.
I don't like my stepson. Should I get a divorce?
Yes.
Correct.
Did you ask her after this portion of the discussion about Quincy and Eduardo and the mountains?
Eduardo on the mountains.
What were you trying to get to there?
Well, as you could see with this story, it didn't take her long to get off of Angel and then divert to other people being in the house. And I wanted to just address the other stories yet again. And again, where we are at this point is we're still trying to find clues about where Gannon is. And I had already explained to her that I think the closest she came to describing Gannon's injuries was when she spoke about Quincy Brown. So I decided to go back there and give that a try.
What do you mean by that? That the closest she was to describing Gannon's true injuries was when she was talking about Quincy Brown. Tell me what you're talking about.
Well, I never saw the full autopsy of what happened to Gannon. I only heard about it secondhand. But when she was describing the head, the hands, the knees, and the blood pouring, that's the most descriptive. She had come with us meaning investigative team, even including here.
So that was the most descriptive as far as any potential injuries that she was willing to tell the investigation.
Correct.
So we're at 3 hours, 34 minutes, and 50 seconds. We're going to play a 5-minute clip, 3 hours, 39 minutes, and 50 seconds.
If you give me another name, I will chase that person. You've tried Eduardo in the house. You've tried Quincy Brown up in the mountains. Now you've tried Angel.
I never said that about no mountain.
Yes, you did. You were supposed to ride a bike
Oh,
up
yeah.
there in the mountains with Quincy Brown. But in
I
all,
never told you that.
I never told you that.
said you knew I was in the room.
I didn't say I knew you. I didn't even know who you
Well,
were.
I didn't know who you were.
I didn't never say FBI either. Not what I said.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
No, I said I know someone who's listening.
That gotta be us.
No, it could have been
No,
anybody.
no, it could be anybody.
Exactly. There's no point of arguing that. You're not going to.
There's no point of arguing, she's telling him. This is hysterical.
I think you could control this story by.
Sir,
Well, you are
nothing but
concerned about what other
respectful to
people
you.
think.
I've been completely respectful to you. I have talked to you. I've been respectful to you. Been kind to you. I did all these things to you because that's who I am.
That's
I
who
was
she
raised-
is.
Wasn't raised to be bad to people.
She wasn't raised to be bad.
But I think bad things happen all the time. I've seen.
Why bad things have to happen?
Because an 11-year-old boy is not home and he's not hanging out with somebody.
Okay, sir, okay. I'm glad that you think something so bad happens all the time. I'm sorry that you have to have been filled up of nothing but no compassion and all that. I'm sorry for that. I really am. But I have no reason, none, to hurt anyone in my family. None.
Can you tell me why there's blood on the bottom of your shoe?
I don't
Gannon's
know.
blood. The shoes they recovered in the garage.
In the garage?
Or in the top of the washer or something.
People were. Did you think I didn't walk around in shoes?
With Gannon's blood on the bottom?
That's got to do with anything.
It's
I've already told you. We were outside unloading stuff. What has that got to do with anything? We got outside unloading my car. I mean, come on. That doesn't mean somebody's a bad person and done something wrong. Yeah, sir. No. Thing like that. To hurt Gannon, innocent, loving, help me out more than any person in the household.
Gannon helped her more than any person in the
than
household.
Albert.
Innocent. She would
More
never.
than anyone. Help me.
More than
I
Albert.
think Gannon's a bad kid.
No, help me. You know how much you'd be helping me? With everything, pulling everybody else's slack. Who did it? Gannon.
And I think that's why this is so hard.
You're right. It's hard, you're right. It's hard because I didn't hurt you. To not have him helping me, that was hard. Very hard. Knowing that right now, sitting at home, Gannon knowing the situation, you know what Gannon would do? He would wait on me anything I would ask him just to make sure I was okay. Anything.
He would get her
people
anything
do-
she asked.
Before even Albert would even do it. He would.
He would wait on her. Little servants.
If he was sitting here right now and needed anything, me to ask him to do anything, he would do. So there's no intention, motive, reasoning, nothing for Gannon. Nothing to hurt him in any kind of way. None. Nada.
You did say on the phone
Nothing.
calls there was no
Nada.
premeditation involved. You said,
I was saying to Albert, like he was, if you're talking about when Albert was asking me that, I was simply saying, if you were trying to get him, or whoever was trying to get him to walk me down some pathway of whatever it may be, whatever that may be, come on, sir. I don't
Pathway of
need to
violence.
wake up and be like, oh, my life changed today. That's not how it works in life. Bad people, whether you say do this or do that or do that or do this, they just do bad things
no,
to
it's
people.
not necessarily true.
Okay, well,
I told you good people do bad things. I've seen it.
are you a good person?
Yes.
And you do bad things?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But you have, if you had any key to telling us where Gannon is, you would tell it to us if you were a good person. Would you not? And so,
So pausing it now at 3 hours, 39 minutes, and 50 seconds. At the very beginning of this, you said, if you give me another name, we'll chase that down. Have you ever tried to go back and count the number of different versions of stories this defendant gave during the pendency of this investigation?
No, I've not.
They're having that neighbor on with
Too many
that
to count?
to testify. They'll probably
I
do
just
it then,
haven't
Lex
sat down and
Luthor.
done it. It's
Yeah.
quite a few.
And then variations of maybe like the Quincy Brown story has
They
different
They did
branches of
play.
that story.
They did
Correct.
play videos of it from far
Eduardo
away, but they'll
story
probably
has
play it
different
again
branches on that
when
story.
Roderick comes out.
Yes.
The Gannon was playing with a friend and didn't come home. Are there different branches to that story?
Yes.
And then we get the pregnant woman with a money in her belly story. Different story.
Right.
Money in her belly.
Why did you tell her you don't think you're a bad person? What was the purpose of that?
It's hard to get someone to talk about something bad if they think the person talking to them already thinks they're bad.
Were you hoping that that would maybe loosen her up and she would give you some information?
Well, and yeah, I think she did not intend for this,
Hi, Hawk.
whatever the awful thing was that happened to Gannon, to happen.
That's what you were trying to get her to
Correct.
believe you were thinking?
Yes.
Okay. Were you actually thinking that?
Yeah, I didn't know how all this started as far as, I was only taking my role in this investigation. I was not the case agent. My role was just to speak with Letecia, take in as many facts as I could for these interviews. And so I was taking in what she was saying, and she was putting it back again to me with a foot injury on Saturday and now a head injury on Saturday. So we've got a progression of things happening. And I was just gathering from her what I can and passing it on to the investigative team.
When you said those things, you obviously didn't have Gannon's body had not been recovered yet.
That's correct.
Hadn't heard anything about an autopsy and the number of injuries that he had suffered.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember asking her right after this clip that we just saw about where did you last see Gannon?
Yes.
Why did you want to go down that path?
In my experience, especially if you have a close relationship with someone who has disappeared, you are clearly able to articulate the last time that you saw that person. And so far in the phone calls with Al, and even with my time, she has not said what that very last sighting of him was.
Okay, and we're going to jump to that section now. 3 hours, 40 minutes, and 59 seconds. And we're going to play it through 3 hours, 45 minutes, and 5 seconds.
Yes.
your argument isn't going to work, Letecia.
Argument about what?
Your argument that somebody took him, you're not going to be able to tell that story.
Okay.
If you help us today
Okay.
find out where Gannon is, if you can, because I have 100% confidence that you can tell me exactly where you last left Gannon.
Okay. Now you're accusing me.
I'm just telling you what
Okay.
the research shows, what our investigation showed.
I'm
Then
glad that
listen.
you have research, though. I'm glad
It
you have
will
research.
look good. It will look much better for you.
I didn't do anything, so what do you want me to look better at? I didn't do
Are you going to
anything.
tell me right now that the last place you saw Gannon
I'm
was
not
really
gonna
him
tell
getting
you.
into an Impala?
Sir, I'm not gonna say anything because you're not trying to help me.
Finding Gannon would help you.
Oh, yeah, I know. Don't
Wouldn't
you
it?
think that?
Then tell me.
Don't you think that? Don't you
I know it.
really don't think that?
So tell me where he is and let me help you.
I don't know where he is.
Where did you last see him?
I'm not, sir. I'm not. You proved that you were not going to help me. Okay, you did. You proved you were not going to help me.
If you tell me where you last saw him, I can help you. I promise you that, Letecia.
I don't get it. Then her Gannon.
I didn't hear
I
Gannon.
mean, I don't know how to like write that out, say it in 10 different languages.
So what do you want me to say? You didn't hurt Gannon? Did you kill Gannon?
No. No.
Did you put Gannon somewhere?
No.
You didn't put him in a dumpster.
Doctor.
Dumpster? No.
That wasn't treated.
Because we've been tracking your car, we've been tracking, even when your phone is off, it can be tracked.
Good, sir. I'm glad.
Good, sir.
And so
Glad.
we've been going through dumpsters,
So-
going through. Is Gannon in a dumpster?
Sir, you can go through
Just please.
whatever you
That
want to
would
go
save
through.
us.
Sir,
That would save us
I didn't do
hundreds of
anything.
days.
Whatever.
Just
I
tell me
didn't
if he's in
do
a dumpster.
anything.
That's fine. But will you tell me if he's in a dumpster?
If I didn't do anything to him, how am I answering that question for you?
Whether it's Angel or
I'm
whoever
not
else.
answering the question for you. Really?
You're insulting
After
her
that?
now.
Because we want to find him. I would not ask you that question
I
if it
didn't
wouldn't help us
do
find him.
anything to Gannon. Nothing.
She didn't do anything to Gannon. Hi, Foxy and the Boxy. She didn't do
hurt,
anything to
harm,
Gannon.
Kill. Nothing. To Gannon. Did not.
Did not.
Would not.
Would
Where's
not.
the last place you
Could
saw
not.
him?
Sir,
Please.
you've already asked me this question.
But that's an easy question. The last place you saw Gannon, which can really help us find him.
Sir, you've
Why would you not
already-
say that? If you had nothing
Because
to
I've already tried to help you.
No, but if you had nothing to do, if you did not hurt, harm, anything, why would you not tell me the last place you saw him?
Okay.
Because it's a memory you don't want to look at.
Memory?
Yes,
Really?
I would think it's a memory.
Okay.
All right.
Gannon's been missing now for how many days? You know when you last saw him, but you won't tell the one agency that can find him.
You already said, you already basically lost my whole
That's
ability.
not a
to
true
trust.
story. That's worse than Quincy
Okay.
Brown.
All right. Okay.
What about the pregnant lady with the money in her
Okay.
stomach?
Sir. Okay.
Letecia, tell me the last place you saw him, and we can find Gannon, and you can, that will help you so much in this case.
Oh.
Yes, it will. What do you think is going to help you now? If I walk out of here and we haven't got a lead on how to find Gannon, all you've got is the story of the stuff on the wall. You've got the blood. You've got blood all over the house. You've got
Okay.
blood on the bottom of your shoes,
Okay.
and you've got about 7 lies.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
help us find Gannon,
She's
that
so
will help
flippant.
you tremendously.
Okay. Okay.
And yet you won't tell me. Why? Yes, I will. I've just,
So we've got it now paused at the end of that section, 3 hours, 45 minutes and 5 seconds. Why'd you throw out the dumpster?
There had been searches in dumpsters. And at that point, since we had no leads, I was hoping maybe she could at least, I was being truthful there, saying, can you at least narrow our world on what we're searching at this point? Because we didn't have a lead on where Gannon was.
And you were just trying to get that from her at that particular point.
Yes.
Do you remember going from that discussion into asking her about any mental health issues that she was dealing with?
Yes, I believe I asked her a second time after asking her initially.
Right. And so that's what we're going to get into next, and that's at timestamp 3 hours, 50 minutes and 20 seconds, and it lasts for almost 2 minutes. So it goes to 3 hours, 52 minutes and 18 seconds.
Okay, Crystal. I'm not going to be much longer either. I'm going to try to get through this.
So I'm
but-
starting it at 3 hours, 50 minutes and 20 seconds.
The one, not the one.
Do you know if I asked you ahead of time if you're having anxiety or depression or stuff like that?
Anxiety, depression, any of those things. Because to be honest with you, I think
But have you been, you said Gannon's been seeing counselors. Have you been seeing counselors?
right about teaching one time. Maybe she did it too because she was going to give the emotional support animal.
That's it.
Yeah, it
Emotional
was the 2 times on base, and we talked about not wanting to be in teaching anymore and all that route.
And all
Stress
that.
on the job. That
Stress
was what
on
we
the
talked
job.
about.
You had
Whatever,
searched a little
whatever.
bit on the suicide stuff.
What suicide stuff?
Or was that you, or was that just random heat stroke?
Suicide? I don't even like.
Have you ever thought about suicide?
Who?
You.
I'm not thinking about suicide.
What's that? Both a suicidal person might say that's what.
Yeah, because I have someone in my family before that had said that to me, and I've looked up information.
That's not you.
Wow.
Take
A
that.
lot of things in their family go on too, that you maybe want to look up and be like, oh, this is going on. They're dealing with this.
Okay.
So, when you're asking her about any mental health issues, did she indicate basically only 2 times?
Yes.
And what was the reason that she was seeing this counselor?
Counseling on the base regarding her teaching, I believe.
Okay.
She didn't want to be in teaching anymore. She was too
When you
stressed.
left the room here, what were you doing?
I believe she asked if she could make a phone call, and plus I wanted to check with our team, so I wanted to see, what was going on with them.
Okay. When you came back in the room, did you start to ask her about the board that was found with blood on it?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna jump to that. So we're at 3:55 and 0 seconds. That period of time in between, so when we stopped at 3:52:18 till when you're about to come back in the room at 3:55 and 0 seconds, was she just in the room by herself?
Yes.
Was she acting normal?
Yes.
Any concerning behavior from her?
No.
Okay, we're gonna start it at 3:55 and go through 4 hours, 6 minutes, and 11 seconds. So a little over 11 minutes.
Thank you.
Looks like she has just bare feet.
At some point, we'll ask you how many steps it takes
She's
to get
doing
back
a
and
little
forth.
stretching, fixing out her pants a little bit. Don't worry, you're not going to be wearing those much longer, you little leggings. No. You'll be taking them off. You're going to be wearing a jumpsuit. Jumpsuits. You're gonna be wearing a jumpsuit very soon, very soon. Gonna be wearing a jumpsuit very soon. What about the baby, Letecia? Don't squish the baby. You should really eat something for the baby. You've got to think about the baby. You should eat something. You've been there a long time. I don't know if it's twins, Ruff, but she's Pregnant with something, 8 weeks along. 8 weeks along. I'm surprised she doesn't tell them when they're, hey, I'm pregnant. How come on the way back to Kansas when she was in there and she was saying, why didn't she say, hey, easy, I'm pregnant? They said something about a sonogram and twins, but I'm not sure if it was this pregnancy or a prior fake pregnancy.
That's the right thing.
I just wanted to call to see that Harley got home.
She did. Yeah, they talked with Harley, they talked with Dee Dee, they talked with Laura. There were search warrants at Laura's house, Dee Dee's house, your van. I think that's it. So yeah, they got Harley back home.
Yeah, Harley knows. Harley's done with you.
Harley with Dee Dee?
Yeah, because I told them that I met you out of the car and you said you'd like Dee Dee to be the guardian in between times.
Yes, she said she was pregnant when talking with him. She said she was 8 weeks pregnant.
I mean, I'm saying like they're not in trouble with it.
No, neither are Dee Dee.
Hello, Samantha Lewis.
I'm not asking you about the wrong teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I do with that.
She did
Whether
mention it, Lex
you
Luthor.
did this or not, it doesn't matter. The reason they asked me is to come.
She says that she's pregnant, Samantha, 8 weeks.
If I can't get past, if I can't prove a story, whether you tell it to me, Al tells it to me, whether it's El Paso Sheriff's Office, again, I don't take anything true until I can prove it. With all the evidence that they have, the reason why it took so long is the district attorney wanted to wait and wait and wait till they made sure they could win in the court. And I've done no body homicide before. They have more on this case than we do on most of them. I don't want you to be the way you can help yourself out of this thing.
Help us to help you, please.
Even though it's very
You just said you have
difficult.
what you need, so
We
why
do.
why do you need to keep asking me?
Because you wouldn't
But if you have what you need, why do you keep asking me?
Because our goal is to find Gannon. Our goal is not to prosecute you. That is the district attorney's job. We're investigators. And like you've just seen, I do a poor job about half the time because I have to guess. Because as much as we try to track you with your cars and your phones and whatever else, there are gaps. We do have, like I told you, the blood in the house. We do have the blood on, do you know about the board that was thrown in the
Yes,
forest?
Debbie, and I believe she is someone that could do that. I'm actually surprised she's never done it.
I'm sorry for what?
That's okay. The board that has Gannon's blood on it that was thrown in the forest.
So all right, so what?
It's got your DNA on it.
Okay.
But then how do you explain stuff like that and then turn around and say, but then turn around and say, I don't know.
I lived in the house with Gannon. I was Gannon's main caretaker. I wouldn't be surprised if everything I done didn't involve Gannon. There, see, whatever.
Whatever.
But that board was from the house, and then it's up on by Highway 105.
Boards in the house. I've already explained to you about any kind of stuff that would have been from the foot. I've already told you that, and I don't know what you.
But
I mean-
Gannon didn't go throw it up there.
Okay, so now someone threw it up there. So now someone threw it up
Or
there.
dropped or whatever. How did that board get up there?
Sir, now you're going on about
Well,
board.
Leticia,
And Albert already called about this board. 'Cause you were
I'm
there,
going to
right?
stop this interview
And
right now,
saw
sir.
and
You're
all this
really
stuff, right?
Sock had nothing
can't
to
take
do
it.
with
Okay. But yeah, he said it's all.
But he did say it's up.
Right.
But the board is true.
Sir.
The board was right where your T1 was.
Sir.
Sir.
Pick one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we tracked it.
You could have gotten all that from me easily. You just log into the app. It's not a difficult thing.
You should have just asked her. She would have given to you freely.
Right. But if you track from where your Tiguan went and you look at where that Ford went.
Now, okay, so this is why it's so, like, backwards. So now my Tiguan, but I was driving a truck, and then now my Tiguan, and now, you tried on the rental car, but then
No, you had 3 different cars.
there's
And,
proof on the rental car that I didn't even get to drive it. So,
right, there's low mileage on it. But we don't know where you went because you had your phone.
my phone, watch on.
Yeah, but you had your phone.
But the
the watch is up in the forest somewhere, isn't it?
No, if you guys have a watch, it's at El Paso Detention Center.
That's the watch there. I thought you had an iWatch.
That's where the watch was at. My watch says it's clearly sitting in El Paso County.
Okay. But your phone was off those couple of days.
What couple of things?
The 27th, it was off when you were between the Petcos.
But I had my watch on.
I had my watch.
Right. But what I'm
The
saying,
watch tells you where you go.
Yeah.
It's mirrored.
yeah, but I'm telling you, we have holes in our investigation, and you can help us with that.
Or I didn't even drive my car anywhere really, other than just going to meet friends.
You drove the Tiguan up there.
Yeah, other than to meet friends, yes.
So who you meet? That can be a lead we can help find Gannon with.
You guys already know all my friends, so maybe
No, we don't know those up there.
that should be the ones that you really know.
We don't know the ones up there, I guarantee you.
And like the guy said, oh, tire pressure and all this, then you would have saw where if I stopped anywhere or done whatever.
Can't you tell me though?
Sure.
Instead of
You want me to
making
do
me.
that? Like, I've already had to tell you everything personal about her life. You have everything personal.
I don't have what friends you saw up there on 105 where that board is.
Look, I'm not going to admit to any kind of board.
I'm not saying you need to. I'm just saying tell me who your friends are up there and we can go talk to
And
them.
my Tiguan wasn't even driven that way until
Okay, so maybe it was
later.
how much later?
I don't even know. Before they took it.
Okay, so was the truck up there?
Talk up where?
Up that 105 area?
Oh, how's I dismissive?
But
I was going to Castle where he said this.
but is that where the board was? It was in the back
Sir,
of
I
the
don't know
truck.
where the board was at because I don't know. I really don't know. You're asking me a question that I really don't know the
So
answer to.
we have a board up
Okay.
there where you were driving
Okay,
with Gannon's blood on it,
okay,
with your DNA on it.
okay. So
So,
my DNA, which would be what?
skin stuff.
Okay, my skin cells, which I lived in a home, if that's what
Correct.
you're telling me.
Yeah.
And I've already told you that there was all this wood in the garage.
Yeah, but you never told me that you took a piece out of the truck and flung it up there. Put it, just flung it. And again, Letecia, I think you get mad when I say a verb or something, whether you placed it, flung it, dropped it, hit it, I don't know. But all I know is that our FBI evidence response team recovered it.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you check everybody else in the house?
As far as for their DNA?
No, not the DNA, to see if they put it there. Because you remember, these are the people that were in the house when I wasn't there. Did you check all them?
The people in the house.
Yeah, did you check the people in the house?
You mean the crime scene people?
No, I mean the people that I'm sorry to phrase that, because you don't like you, that
Because you don't like you.
allowed to stay there when all this stuff you're talking about would have been there. Okay?
Correct.
Did you check all these people?
As far as their DNA
No. Did you check to see if any of them did this?
drove and threw that wood up there?
Did you check them?
Did
Their
you check them?
GPS, their phone.
No. Did you check them? Because that is doesn't matter. So you mean to tell me you checked Veronica's GPS in her phone?
That's her Aunt Veronica.
Judge, that's now paused at 4 hours, 6 minutes and 11 seconds, and it's 4:49.
Is this a good place for a break?
It is, Judge.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will have our weekend break. Sorry. We will have our weekend.
Okay, so that we're going to see the
Somebody
rest
say
of
we will
this
have
on
our
Monday
weekend
and
break.
She is taking control of this. She's questioning him, what he's done. They're probably going to study this because he even said she's quite good at this, okay? She's quite good at taking control, deflecting, and taking his line of questioning somewhere else, getting off a line of questioning that she doesn't want to be on and just whipping it around, right? It's crazy. I know, Rough and Ready. I told them to go through the weekend, but they didn't listen to me. But I told them to at least finish this up, to go overtime on Friday, but they didn't want to do that either. She just is, it's hysterical, isn't it? How she just takes control of that. Whatever. Well, I'm not. Did you go check everybody in the house? Crime scene people? No, the people that you get check Veronica's GPS. So crazy. Yeah, Christine. She probably had plenty of practice through her whole lifetime. Carolyn, you didn't push hard enough. I know. I told them they took too many breaks. I wanted to go through with the phone calls. If we had done that phone call, that 29-minute phone call the day before, we probably would have had time to finish this. They're lightweights. They should have just gone through, powered through it. Grab a cup of coffee and keep on going. Just finish it up already, right? Finish it up already. What did, hold on a minute. So, I think it'll be interesting on Monday. We'll see what happens. We'll see the rest of this. I don't know who they'll bring up. There's still quite a few witnesses they have to bring up. There's going to be more family members from her side. There's going to be the Roderick guy that had the camera footage. All of that. Hey, Jeff, how are you doing? Yeah, so this was something, but they really don't touch on the pregnancy so much. And I'm just surprised she didn't say anything when she was, singing show tunes and playing trivia games with those other people in that van where she attacked the person with the can of the Monster can drink, right? That she didn't mention that she was pregnant, yada, 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 whatever, yada, yada, whatever. It's the way she says whatever drives me crazy. Whatever. I don't know. She's crazy. Justice Jane. Hey, Justice Jane. So yeah, she's just horrendous there. And oh my goodness. How do you know that, Ruff? Do you know that? Jeff's all over this case? Are you all over this case, Jeff? Have you been following it from the very start of it? They are pacing it fine. If they don't stop, the jurors may blank out. Also, they need to drive home some topics. Okay, Julie. Julie says they're pacing it just fine. All right, whatever's, Julie. You and I can agree to disagree. I want it powered through. Did she have a baby? Not that I'm aware of, but she mentions a biological son. Oh, just your opinion? But she mentions a biological son in the letter. Who's the biological son? I'm still catching up on this case. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, where's Christine Micro? Do you know who the biological son is that she wrote about in that letter? Who's the biological son? Let me see something. I'm going to call it a nighty night pretty soon. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. But I do want to check something. Let's see. Somebody put a bingo game. Somebody put a bingo game in one of the Facebook groups, okay? And it says, Teabag Trial Bingo. And the first space is whatever. Nobody's helping me. Another twisted story. I'm just saying. Phone. I haven't done anything. Okay. Yada. Blood. Right. Name blame game. Thing. Defense attorney needs a hug. Legit. I have begged for help. That's not what it was. Fire. Wound, hurt, injury, blah. This is what happened. You know, this is why I don't trust. If that's what you think, what happened was, and candle. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, so somebody, I guess his mom put up something that somebody shared in one of the group. It said April 10th, just a simple quick request, and I do not know if it's even possible, but I want to remember Gannon as I remember. His laughter, his smile, his energy, and his beautiful hair. And eyes that would even smile. I may even leave Facebook. I love you all, and thanks for the love and support. Prayers for G-Man's family here and in Colorado Springs. Trying to see something here. Seeing if there's anything. And yeah, do you remember she put this by? Remember Gannon waving by? And this is before she was even arrested or anything. She put it on her Facebook page, and everybody said she did it to like say goodbye and stuff, that he's gone, to to try to torment everyone. Okay, so that's not anything that I wanted to see, but, okay. I was just trying to see if there was anything that I wanted to talk about there. Be careful in Colorado. Rocks being thrown at drivers killed this 20-year-old girl. She was killed. It says Wednesday. 20-year-old Colorado woman driving late at night on Wednesday was killed after a rock crashed through her windshield. One of a series of incidents involving rocks being thrown at drivers. Alexa Bartell was driving in Jefferson County near Rocky Flats Wildlife Refuge at about 10:45 p.m. when the large rock went through her windshield and struck her. Bartell was on the phone at the time with a friend who was able to track the woman's vehicle to a field. Bartell of Arvada died from her injuries. This is a 20-year-old female who was driving home from work, and she's no longer with us because of a senseless act, said the Jefferson County Sheriff's spokesperson, Jackie Kelly. This is not fun and games. This is not a prank. This is a woman. This killed a woman last night, and we want to know who did this. Those who knew Bartell described her as caring, reliable, and a joyful person. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said Thursday that it's investigating other reports of rocks being thrown at vehicles in the same vicinity and around the same time. Authorities are exploring whether someone in a vehicle or on the side of the road was throwing rocks from late Wednesday to early Thursday morning. Reports of rocks being thrown towards other vehicles span from 10:04 p.m. until 12:24 a.m. on Thursday. None of the other cases were fatalities, although some drivers were injured. We know that these rocks are about 4 to 6 inches, 3 to 5 pounds, so they're large like landscaping rocks that were essentially used as a deadly weapon. To report information about the case, call the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office tip line 303-271-5612. Oh, that's terrible. A sick California teen who has been missing since New Year's was found safe thanks to the community. Texas teenager has been charged with stabbing his mother to death. Oh, wow. Let's see. In a moment of rage. It's just a moment of rage. Texas teenager has been charged with stabbing his mother to death and seriously injuring his father in what police say was a quick moment of rage. Primera Chief of Police Manuel Trevino said that 18-year-old Dallas Scott Gilbert stabbed Angela Watt Gilbert, who was 47 years old, 6 to 8 times, and his father, 55-year-old Gary Gilbert, several times in the stomach and ribs. The father managed to call 911, and when officers arrived, they found him pinning down his son, waiting for them to arrive. I can say one thing. The female did fight. She did have several defensive wounds on her hands, which meant she didn't go down without a fight. But again, this was her son attacking her. She probably had no idea what was coming. The suspect confessed, Trevino said, adding that the stabbings came about in a moment of rage that went totally out of control. The chief said the police have responded to the residence for a minor verbal disturbance in 2022 and that the suspect had a previous arrest for a minor drug offense. Gilbert was charged with murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He's being held on $1.5 million bond. Unbelievable. Oh, look at this. We're going to have a trial here too. Remember the yoga teacher who killed the cyclist? She appeared in court. She's wearing her stripes. Let's see, it says, Caitlin Armstrong made a pretrial appearance at the Blackwell Thurman Criminal Justice Center on Thursday, April 20th, 2023. Armstrong has been charged in the murder of star cyclist Mariah Wilson. Let's see here. What's this? So she's going to have, it said, I think they're going to have a preliminary hearing in June. So that's going to be around Koberger's. Let me see. Oh, her June trial date. She appeared in court for a preliminary hearing ahead of her June trial date. Very interesting. So she's supposed to have a June trial, and the suitcase murder is supposed to, Sarah Boone is supposed to have a June trial, or she moved to July now. I have to check that out. But anyway, yeah, Koberger, that's a preliminary hearing. L, that's just a preliminary hearing. When that's done, he's not going to go to trial for a while. She used to be more attractive. I knew you could. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. I am exhausted right now. So I will see you guys later on today, tomorrow, today, tomorrow, today, whatever. Yada, yada, yada. Whatever. Found her Central America or something. Yes, they found her in Costa Rica. Yeah. All right, whatever. Elle knows. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. Love you guys. God bless. Prayers for all that need them. Be good. Okay, good night, everybody. Delano, don't say, what did you tell me last? You're like, blasphemer? No, you didn't call me a blasphemer. You said, don't leave us, or I forget exactly what you said. I forget. One more hour. No, I can't. I'm exhausted. All right. I'll see you guys. Lex has a question. Okay, Lex has a question. Hold on. Let me see Lex's question. Lex has a question. All right. I'm trying to find Lex's question. Awesome to hear that. Hope she will check it out if she's got time. It's online. I guess there will be a chat. Okay. Mommy Remlings, can you try quick to see if you can pull up or find the video of Gannon walking to the truck sluggishly? You can find it with, let me see here. Let me see if I can find this video. Roderick, it should be under... Do. Hold on a second. Okay, I think you can find it.
It is surveillance video that could be at the
Let me see something. If you go here, Lex, Luther on Fox 31 Denver here, you can, this is the neighbor. This neighbor will be taking the stand. I'll put the link in the chat. The neighbor will be taking the stand. Yeah. Okay, it's right in the chat. All right. Jim Croce, what are you talking about, Jim Croce? All right, there it is. You got the link? Who is that for the June? That was the yoga teacher that killed this cyclist that she thought was having an affair with her. I don't know if he was her boyfriend or her husband. All right. I'll see you there. Lex Luthor, there's the link, all right? Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. You're very well. God bless. Thanks for you're a trooper. I am. Thank you. All right, everybody take care. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Love you guys. Bye.